an asshole anymore.
Selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours for bullshit pay, so I can sit out here and waste my life away, drag back home and drown my troubles away. It's a damn shame what the world's gotten to for people like me and people like you. Wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. Oh, it is, living in the new world with an old soul. These rich men north of Richmond, Lord knows they all just wanna have total control. Wanna know what you think, wanna know what you do, and they don't think you know, but I know that you do, 'cause your dollar ain't shit, and it's taxed no end. 'Cause the rich man, north of Richmond. I wish politicians would look out for minors, not just minors on an island somewhere. Lord, we got folks in the street, ain't got nothing to eat, and the obese milking welfare. Well, God, if you're 5'3" and you're 300 pounds, taxes ought not to pay for your bags of fudge rounds. Young men putting themselves 6 feet in the ground, 'cause all this damn country does is keep on kicking them down. It's a damn shame what the world's gotten to for people like me and people like you. Wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. Oh, it is, living in the new world with an old soul. These rich men north of Richmond, Lord knows they all just wanna have total control. Wanna know what you think, wanna know what you do, and they don't think you know, but I know that you do, 'cause your dollar ain't shit, and it's taxed to no end. 'Cause the rich man, north of Richmond. All day, overtime hours for bullshit pay.
Nicely done. Let's go. We're back for another Tuesday night on the EdgeStream. It's good to have you all back here. How's it going, everyone? I'm joined with a special guest co-host for the night. I guess he's just known as Phil. Hello, Phil. Are you there?
Hey, how's it going?
I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good, man. We have a lot of good content to cover tonight. The BoomerWaffen is going crazy, and I know you have a good chuckle at them. Oh man, yeah, it's gonna be good tonight. Uh, is that not your song that we just played? Your cover
Yes.
of this Richmond, North of Richmond song?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Sweet.
Yeah, thanks for putting it out there, getting me some views. Really appreciate it. It was never something, too serious. It just when the song came out, I immediately thought I could make a quick punk cover of this song. It's like 4 chords, so tried to do that, and it was my first time doing something like that at home, like actually recording the guitar and singing and all that kind of stuff at home, which was pretty cool to do. So I'm hopefully gonna put out some more stuff eventually someday when I get the time to actually finalize something. But that was kind of like my first stab at it, and it was quite fun to do. So thanks for showing it again.
Yeah, no problem, man. We're definitely gonna be looking back into that song today because it's relevant to all the things that have been going on, especially in all the videos and in the mindset of the people that we're gonna be looking at tonight. I don't know if we could really see the meme that's in your picture there. It says nobody, nothing, and then random old people at the grocery store when they see my kid. Oh yeah, and it's all the grannies trying to kiss it and touch it. What's the story behind that?
Oh, dude, I just find with boomers in general, like they have this want to like touch your baby, and I get it, like, cute baby, you want to squeeze their cheeks or give them a kiss or something like that. But it's like random old people in the supermarket, are coming up and they want to like grab your kid and kiss your kid. It just makes you as a parent kind of feel uncomfortable, especially when, they're like a newborn and like, the slightest little bit of someone having a cold or whatnot can get them sick. So like I definitely don't want random fucking people like, touching them and holding them really close to their faces and stuff like that. I'm not like super paranoid about it, but I'm also, you gotta be responsible at the same time. So yeah, that was just a meme I made. It's a very Facebook kind of friendly meme, but I just found it valid as fuck. Like my experience with older people, they just don't have boundaries.
Yeah, definitely. That is a Facebook tier meme, a good one. And we'll be looking more into like the mind of a Facebook meme user later tonight.
Yes, we will.
Yes. The depths that Facebook will take the eternal boomer. That's one of the topics of the show tonight. But anyways, we are live tonight on YouTube, Rumble, Entropy, Odyssey. You could check me out on any of those platforms, whatever one you prefer. Entropy, if you want to give donations, feel free to do that if you like my work. If you want to support any of the work I'm doing on the side, like putting all that editing work into that Hategate explanation video, I had some help with that, and I'm gonna be working on more projects like that going forward into the future. So looking forward to that. Rumble, you could donate there too if you want. I see Tarpsoff89 over there. Odyssey, if Odyssey will load, I could see what's going on over there. Hold on, sorry. If you say anything in the chat, feel free to let me know, because some of my browsers are taking a bit longer to load. But anyways, I see people in the YouTube chat, like Ferryman's Toll, saying, "Lord, it's a damn shame. Lord, it's a damn shame. What boomers gonna do? What they get up to?" I feel like there's gonna be a lot of that tonight.
It is a damn shame.
It's a damn shame. Nathan Rake Smith in the chat, Raging Dissident. Hey, if any of you guys want to join, just say something in the chat or message me on Telegram. We could get a little party going here tonight. I'm sure all the banter, all the chirps will flow as we start watching all these videos, as we get into it. Pamela Thrasher, Trevor Canning, Charlene Ross, Dash. Good to see you all in the chat. The Pleds. Oh, and now Entropy is loaded up. James Edward, Bright Wheel. We got some slashes in the chat. As you can see, I no longer have the cutout of Jeremy here. That has gone to all the other dags, so that's going to be spread around the country. Hopefully Jeremy can soon go around the country and do the tour that he was looking forward to doing. But yeah, looking forward to that. Diagolonian in the chat. Hey, what do you say we get into it?
Yeah, let's watch some funny videos.
Right. Well, first of all, I do want to promote a show that I have upcoming right now. This is in Toronto at a venue called Growers World, Friday, October 20th, I believe. And this show is called Greg Wycliffe versus the World. So it's starring Greg Wycliffe. This is basically his show. I think Dmitry Goryenko is involved. He's hosted a lot of shows in Toronto that have like us edgier type comedians there. He's fucking hilarious. Janice Israel Knott, also a hilarious musical comedian. He, she, it is going to be playing there as well. Has amazing repertoire of songs. It's going to be real edgy. It's going to be real good. So if you live anywhere near the Toronto area, make sure you start looking into the show and get tickets. Greg is like intimately involved in organizing this. It's basically his show. So I know it's going to be good. Check that out. I'll be promoting this more in the future.
Let's go. Edgy D doing real life stand-up comedy.
Yeah. To be honest, I'm getting a little bit rusty right now with all my songs. That guitar in the corner, it has not been played nearly as much as it should have been in the last few months. I've been working on other things, what can I say? But, I'm going to get back into the groove of things, and I'm going to get my song game going again. And I might have a few, like, new songs or jokes that you guys haven't heard. So, even if you've come seen me before, you're going to see some new stuff there, and I'm really looking forward to it. And Greg's always coming up with new stuff, too, so.
Yeah, that sounds like a fun night. Where did you say that was again?
At Growers World in Toronto.
Toronto.
So I'm going to drop the Eventbrite in each one of these chats here before I keep going. Do you see anyone in the chat you want to talk to? Sorry, my browsers are taking a little longer to load these days.
Yeah, you got too many fucking tabs of porn open, bud.
Oh, fuck. You got me, man. You got me. When you got too many tabs of porno now, keeps on slowing you down.
Yeah, you let every single video buffer, so it's just sitting in that tab waiting to be pressed. So it's quite, slowy on the PC there.
All right, well, let's get into it. We are now entering the BoomerWaffen Bonanza. What better way to start it up with a little hype video here? Now, I know you love this guy. You may not have seen this video because I believe you were blocked from criticizing him a bit too much.
I've had a few tiffs with him.
Okay,
yeah.
So let's check this out.
Morning, everybody.
This is none other than the Puck Daddy 93. I don't know if you know him at all you people out there, but he is a Canadian freedom celebrity. We actually have many of these people, if you didn't already know that. But anyways, let's see him promoting this East meets West Save the Children convoy.
Too, I do have to provide a slight bit of backstory to this guy. This guy didn't exist online, outside of people that knew him in real life. Like, he wasn't a thing pre-convoy. So he's one of these people. To me, he's like the best example where he fully embodies like one of these people who went to the convoy. It changed everything about their lives, and now this is what they do. This is who they are, and that's this guy. And he's just the worst. Like, play the video.
Okay, I want to say one more thing is that Jeremy's stream last night, like, I was working on some other stuff, and you told me that he was roasting all these Freedom Convoy boomers, like the Save the Children thing, and then I had to go watch, and man, he absolutely roasted the shit out of them. Like, took every little observation about what they were wearing, who they were, and just knocked it out of the park. To the point where even the leftists who were covering all of this started to clip his videos in order to dunk on them further. You know you're down bad when both the left and the right are dunking on you that hard, and it's still funny and still correct.
Yeah, dude, I was just sitting here watching Rage's stream last night, and when he started showing these videos, like, the videos themselves had me dying laughing, but his analysis was just so perfect. Like, the one moment at the end of the video where all of a sudden the one woman just starts screaming. raged, like he actually hit the notes that she was doing. It was perfect. It was fucking so funny.
Yeah, man. Well, he got all the main clips. Now I have a couple other clips because I want to bring something new to the table here. But as well, sorry, I was looking in the chat. I saw Ferryman. Lord, it's a damn shame what the porn's got into. It's all incest and cucks and butt sex and poo. It's a damn shame. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a good stream. Yeah, we're gonna hear a lot more of that. Man, these people can't help themselves with this song. Now, I was defending it before. You literally made a punk cover, but now I have to agree. Now I have to agree with the incel Nick Fuentes about this song. It's over. It's done.
Yeah, dude. When I heard that guy break out into fucking that song, just starts going on the chorus, like I cringed so fucking hard. Like that made me feel like shit for singing the song.
For even being involved with the song,
like,
right?
Fuck, it's become an anthem of like actually retarded people, as much as it has for anyone normal. So
okay, well let's get into it. Is there any other preamble that we need here?
No,
let's get into it. I'll think about anything as we go along. Like, we have a lot to cover here. All right, let's hear it, Puck Daddy. Get us hyped.
Buddy, just have a huge announcement to make, all right? The time we've all been waiting for is now, okay? The East meets West Save the Children convoy is a go. The time is now. So keep your ears and your eyes open. You'll see soon. And I can't wait. Canada, this is our time. It's time to save our children. It's time to stand up for our country. The time is now. Dude. Can't wait, people.
So, details, please. What?
Good morning, everybody.
Excuse me, details?
First
the
thing
details
that made me laugh so hard here though is like the caption: East meets West, save the children convoy. It's like, so the whole vaccine thing, they can't go with that anymore, so they're like, now we're gonna have what's going on, what's hot right now, this whole save the children march was a huge thing, and there's a lot of popular politics surrounding the LGBT issue and pushback on it right now, so let's latch on to that. We're gonna call it the Save the Children convoy. Like, fuck, dude.
How
they've lost
does
the
this
plot.
Equal saving any children? I don't get it.
And why does it have to be a convoy?
Oh my goodness. Like, I think one of the biggest things here is the lack of articulation, the lack of any common sense, the lack of understanding that you have to do all these things in order to affect this specific legislation that you are actually against. But these guys just go off of pure hype. This guy knows nothing about politics. And like you said, he came in right when the pandemic happened. And you have all these people who attach their whole life to it. It's crazy. Well, anyways, that's the hype right there. That's Puck Daddy 93. I guess he's going to storm Parliament with a hockey stick or something. I'm not quite sure. He didn't really articulate anything there. Now,
oh my god, that's such a classic Puck Daddy video too. Like, just like selfie filming himself, from like the side shoulder area in like some fucking alleyway, or usually it's outside of his like ghetto ass apartment building that he lives in somewhere in the GTA. It's like just like walking, pacing, looking all serious at the camera and then just smiling, me like nodding, like, yeah, now is the time, guys.
It's happening. We the North, man.
All been waiting for.
Well, apparently this might be the location where it's all going down. These boomers and their epic plans of getting 3 million people to descend on the financial district of Toronto. They were able to get all these people together. You just have to unlock the secret Q code. And if you do that, then you'll know that you have to go and look for a napkin at Sally's Diner in, I don't know, Pembroke, Ottawa, Ontario. And then over there, you will find what the address to meet at this parking lot is. So, one smart boomer was able to find this on Facebook, and they shared it with everybody else. They found the secret location. The treasure hunt was successful. So yeah, there you go.
Just imagine, dude, you're at this like, little party get together thing of you and a bunch of other crazy conspiracy theorists, like QAnon supporters, right? There's like 15 of you there. Then some boomer leaks the address. Next thing you know, there's like 150 even more insane people that show up. And you're like one of the few that started this thing. And then all these other insane people come and then they start fighting and they're all trying to get in front of the camera.
Yep. So those are the videos that we're going to be going over. Rage brought this to my attention from his stream yesterday. Holy fucking shit. Freedom cards. You thought Donald Trump's like trading card in the midst of all these free speech issues and him about to be like in jail for over 100 years? You thought that was cringe, that was bad. Just check out this guy that we're looking at here, Ron Clark Freedom Advocate. And there's tons of these profiles on Facebook. Like, this is a whole world that I didn't even know existed. I didn't know that there were people like this. I assumed that people weren't this stupid from all the people that I hang out with. But no. Apparently, there's this whole underworld of Facebook boomers. And some of the shit they get up to is absolutely fucking crazy. But the thing
Underworld, dude,
yeah,
that's so funny.
yeah, Facebook doesn't know to ban them. Like, Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook, all the Pajit mods on Facebook, they don't know that they're supposed to ban these crazies, if anybody at all that they're supposed to ban. Okay, I'm not advocating banning, I'm joking here. But these people get away with anything because nothing they say actually makes sense. So the AI detection, it gets some of their threats that they put out there.
These are the people like commenting on local news articles about, like a local news story, and they're commenting shit like Trudeau needs to be hung for treason.
Yep. Unfortunately, on platforms like Facebook or all platforms in general, you don't get banned for being stupid. It's unfortunate, right? You get banned for telling controversial truths, not for being stupid. So either way, there's this whole Facebook boomer underworld that I knew nothing about. Oh yeah, the freedom card, sorry. Let's get into that. So we have Ron Clark here, he has his freedom stats, all of that. Is this for $200? So Jeremy is saying the Trailer Park Boys spinoff is even funnier than the original. I like that they sell sports cards of themselves with freedom stats on the back for $200. Is he actually selling this for $200? I have no idea if that's true or not, but holy shit. So these are the kind of people that we're dealing with here. Let's just get right into the videos.
Yeah, the freedom card is fucking hilarious, dude.
We're standing here for the children. That's what we're here for. For all
Apparently
children.
Colin has no sound.
And for Trudeau for treason, guys. Don't forget. We're
Okay,
not letting Trudeau off the hook.
Pause
We
it
have
for
to
a
save
second.
the country.
We have,
Save the
there needs to
children.
be.
To save the children, we have to
Everyone will have
save
their
the
time to
country.
talk.
Walk around downtown
We have
like
to save the
you
country.
do. We're gonna save this country.
We can't let Trudeau off the hook for what happened last time. We cannot.
So, as soon as they start the live, it immediately descends into madness. Like, this is supposed to be about save the children. There's no articulate plan in order to save children. Save children from what? Like, what are they saving the children from? From what I understand from looking at all the information that I've seen in the past few years, like all this soji stuff, this sexual orientation and gender ideology, it's permeating through all our schools and whatnot. And it's all within our media, so we know that this is a problem, and we know that in schools, like, teachers basically have to harbor children from their parents who are taking hormone pills and potentially even butchering themselves. This is what the problem is, this is what the issue is, and the laws are protecting the teachers and making it so that the teachers can't even say anything about it, right? And also, I would extend from that, this is not just an issue of the state versus the parents. Like, meaning that if the parents want to butcher their children, then they're allowed to do that? I don't think so. Like, I think we need to focus on that, like, doing anything transgender with children, and I would say maybe even with adults. I think that that is pretty fucked up to begin with, especially not using any taxpayers' money to do anything like that. But yeah, I think that is what the real issue is there. Has anything of that sort been articulated here at all? Does anybody know what's going on? Like, no. Nobody is going to overthrow the government with an IQ like this and a gathering like this. And me and you, we've done this kind of stream before. We talked about Marcus Ray multiple times, I think.
Yeah.
And we try to, like, understand the mindset of the eternal boomer. And once again, I'm going to say the boomer is not an age bracket, it's a mindset. And it's just a lack of understanding about how to actually do things, about how to actually affect political change, or use any kind of logic or rhetoric in order to further, like, positive change within society. Like, any of these freedom boomers still don't understand how, like, World War II might not have gone as exactly as you think it may have gone, right? So they're all on board with shaming this guy that they gave a standing applause for in Parliament because he's Nazi, right?
Dude, the biggest thing with them is it's like a lack of self-awareness. And that's with these people here too. I don't understand how you cannot realize how fucking bad this looks. Like, look at the pause screen you're on right now. We were in a fucking gravel parking lot, and you got this lady who looks like, you know, your great aunt who just woke up in the middle of the night to go have a cigarette. That's what she looks like. Just look at what she's wearing.
That's so funny, because this screen that we have it paused on, we don't see anything except for someone's pants. And already right there, it's a complete disaster. If you're going to bombard somebody's video and, like, take over this whole convoy thing, and you're wearing fucking pajama pants, what does that say about your seriousness? It's absolutely incredible. Scientists and psychologists will be studying this for generations to come.
Dude, yeah, this is honestly an incredible video to watch. But, like, if you were to go back just to the start for a quick second, like,
okay,
it falls apart so quick. It's like one guy, just his ego gets a hold of him, and he has to be the one talking.
And how did you know? How did you not know that this was going to happen? Right? How did these guys just start the live and then they let it immediately devolve into madness? It boggles my
We stand
mind.
for all humanity. We're standing here for the children. That's what we're here for. For all
Apparently,
children.
Colin has no sound.
And by the way, this Colin guy, I witnessed him have a speech where he talked about how he had gotten, like, he'd gotten over his alcohol addiction at, like, a huge public event. And then I was nearby him, so I went to go, like, say that his speech was inspiring and that, like, you know, addiction is a serious thing, and, like, I look up to you in that regard. And then while I'm talking to him, I realized he had a beer in his hand. And then I just stared at the beer, and then he's like, oh, yeah, you know, it's just a beer. I was like, oh, okay.
Oh my god.
And I was like, that was, like, the content of your speech, though. That was, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Dude, here he comes.
Treason,
This guy's
guys,
about
don't
to
forget.
just pipe up.
We're not letting Trudeau off the hook.
We have to save
We're not letting
the country.
Trudeau off the hook.
To save the children, we have to save the country.
Walk around
We have
downtown
to
like
save the country.
we're gonna save this country.
We can't let Trudeau off the hook for what happened last time, guys. We cannot let Trudeau off the hook. He beat our protesters. He put our truckers in jail.
Save the country.
We need to save the country and make democracy happen.
Make democracy
You had to pause
happen.
there.
So this is why democracy doesn't work. Look, this is a microcosm of why democracy sucks. Maybe if you had democracy, like back in Athens, Greece, or, you know, back when they invented democracy, where, like, reasonable, intelligible people could participate in democracy and, you know, make decisions for the greater good of people and represent different interests. But not everybody's voice is equal. Come on. Equality is a myth. Like, equal representation per person. Like, even the way democracy works, it's just an absolute farce to begin with. And the fact that these freedom boomers keep thinking that democracy and freedom are like interchangeable, it's mind-boggling.
Our government is in save the country.
And you also just immediately, there's no discipline here. You have two competing, like, save the children versus, like, arrest and hang, or, no, I'm kidding, or do whatever else to Trudeau. Like, they can't get their message straight. There was no proper message articulated in the first place, so how is anybody supposed to have a clear message to begin with? Do they have any signs? Do they have any infrastructure behind them in order to show what they're about? Of course they're going to get mogged immediately. Like, if you want to save the children, have like a whole backdrop behind you that says save the children, have maybe some images of things that you care about, or like images of the organizations involved, and then have some security around it so that you don't get absolutely lambasted all over social media.
Yeah, I'm still here, Lee. Jeez. People think I'm not here because I'm not talking. You're just, you're riffing pretty good. I'm not trying to interrupt the flow or anything.
Yep. She just wants to hear you more. But we're all friends here. Okay, I'll play it a bit more. Just start talking if you want me to pause it again.
Make democracy happen. Our government is entangled with the World Economic Forum, and we can't let that happen. Trudeau for treason, stand for thee. Trudeau for treason. There's infiltrators behind us. There's infiltrators behind us.
For a second.
So, infiltrators behind us. Okay.
This part is so funny because he's like, it's like he's chanting to the crowd in like, Ottawa or something when there was a lot of people around, Trudeau for treason. He's like preaching to the literal choir. Like, this is all like hardcore true believers in the cause. And he's yelling at them like, I realize there's a live going on as well, but it's like he's yelling to all the people there. And like, they've all heard this a million times. Like, these people are all fully on board. It's just so funny.
Right. And it's just a show of force. It's just a battle of egos. Like, you want to be front and center. And it's so laughable because why would you want to be front and center on this? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they want to be front and center, but like what they have to say is fucking retarded. Like, they don't have anything positive or new or interesting to say. Like, honestly, people like Trudeau who just spew political rhetoric are better. I'd rather listen to them speak because like at least they're having good speech writers and shit, and like Trudeau does know what how to avoid questions and all that. Like, he understands the intricacies of language. These people are just fucking retarded,
Well, you could get some very special moments, as we're about to see, because of that kind of thing. This is true Trailer Park Boys nationalism. Now, I would say that us at like Diagolon and Plaid Army, we have like real, actual good Trailer Park Boys nationalism, where, we're effective, we're comedic, we have like similar talents to the actual actors within like the Trailer Park Boys cast. And, we make all these jokes and comedy, and I think that is a huge plus that we have over maybe some other nationalist organizations in other countries, especially countries like Britain and Australia and other European countries. We have like a specific comedy to like the kind of activism that we're doing here.
Behind us!
Because we can make fun of this kind of stuff too.
There's infiltrators behind us.
Painting yourself.
Trudeau for treason.
Everybody listen.
Shut it down?
No, don't shut it down. These guys, it doesn't matter. I don't know why these guys are doing this.
You walked into the middle of it.
We don't know why these guys are doing this.
It's all good.
I've been selling my soul.
Okay, this is where it gets good.
Walking all day, all the time I hurt, my bullshit man, so I can sit out here and waste my life away. Drive back home and drive my troubles away. It's a damn shame what the world's gotta do for people like me, and people like you.
I'm sorry, guys. This is not going to distract from the cringe. This is only going to add to it.
Oh. Fuck.
Yeah. Well, I have some super chats on entropy. We have Richard Payne saying, Ragecast was classic last night. Hilarious. I'm losing sympathy for the people still doing this over 18 months later. Time to evolve. This is getting counterproductive. Keep up the good work, brother. Well, I appreciate that, man. And we have Walcar Biner saying, cheers, Edgy. Well, I appreciate that, man. All right, yeah, what do you think about that? What do you think about that? Them butchering your punk cover right there?
Oh man, they butchered that poor guy's song. Like I'm pretty sure he fucked up some of the words in there. It could just be like I don't know if this guy's like French Canadian or something. So it kind of seems like he has a little bit of that in his voice, but I don't know. But just when that came on, that was the moment where I'm like, okay, this is like fucking Trailer Park Boys. It's just like it's just pure chaos, like those moments in Trailer Park Boys when like Ricky's driving drunk through the fucking trailer park and Leahy's chasing after him, they're crashing into everything, and it's just absolute pandemonium. That's what this whole thing seems like. We got a million people talking, then all of a sudden this fucking drunk and probably high guy comes out of nowhere and starts singing a song at the top of his lungs. Another one of his friends comes in and joins while everyone is still fighting around them. Like this is all happening on the live. The one person in the front of the fucking with the camera is just trying to capture like what's going on, like doesn't know where to pan to, ends up panning to the guy who's singing the song, like and then just not having the self-awareness at that point, be like, okay, I'm fucking ending this. This is a fucking disaster. They just keep filming. That's fuck, dude.
Lord help me, if you're 3'5" and 500 pounds, your convoy probably ain't going nowhere. It's a damn shame.
You like went into like a Tom DeLonge voice there for a second.
What the world's gone to with people like me. Oh yeah, that was weird. Well, yeah, I don't know what to think about that. Let's keep going with it.
I would suggest we count it is not be true, but it is. Oh, it is. Living in the new world.
This lady just screaming infiltrator.
Come on. Hey!
And this is the epic moment. So I went on Bing AI generator because I saw everyone was using that now. And I tried to get an image. I typed it very specifically. So I tried to type in every little thing about this scene here, including what they're wearing, how the car was positioned, all this stuff. And it was taking hours, and I needed a thumbnail. So then I told people what I was trying to do. And then one of my good friends, they came up with the AI image generated based on this. So I'll show you that in a second. But holy fuck, this is great. So what do you think of this, though? Is this like a hit and run?
I wanted to know how this like who's in the car?
Oh.
Yeah, because as far as we know, it's this one random guy and this woman, Jane Sharf, who tries to hijack the live stream, but then there's just some other person that they start attacking when they try to drive away. Now, why are they attacking this guy in his car while he's trying to drive away?
I think. No, Norm! I don't want that on my video.
So this Norm guy, I think he's like this French loose cannon guy. He's fucking hilarious. We'll learn more about Norm in a second.
Oh, great.
Yes. So this video is pretty good. We'll just watch like the first little bit about it because it introduces you to Jane Sharf.
It's one of Jane Sharp's goons. Come into our camp, cause trouble trying to run people over.
So this Jane Sharf woman, she's like got a mafia of infiltrators behind them. Or at least that's what's going on in all these BoomerWaffen's heads. It's like, we were foiled by Jane Sharf and all her goons.
They're infiltrators.
Yeah, we would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for Jane Sharf, the woman in her pajamas, and all her infiltrating goons that are trying to run people over and literally murder them. Alright, well, that's all you really need to see of that video, because we have another video here, and it's from Jane Sharf's angle. So, this is fucking hilarious.
You get that person here.
Come here. You want the police to come here.
Yeah.
Right, so you create more division by bringing the police in.
Creating more division.
Go.
Calm down, everybody! Calm down! We don't want that.
Oh yeah, you know.
They're assaulting.
Calm down, like an old woman yelling, calm the heck down.
So running people over is okay, right, Jane?
What are you talking about?
Yeah, so they all just start accusing this Jane woman of, like, literally trying to murder people. Because some other guy, in some unexplained way, like, she's in control over him, or he's one of their goons, she's gooning. I don't know what the fuck.
You're the big lawyer.
Who's running over who?
You're the big lawyer.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You're the big lawyer. I remember this. Last night, Jeremy was saying, like, she's one of these lawyer, sovereign citizen types. And, you know, she's instructing people how to beat the law and whatnot. And her ideas are just absolutely kooky, right? You know,
you just gotta find remedy in common law, and you know everything's a corporation, and it's the Vatican and Washington D.C. and did you know that? Yeah, you'll never have to go to jail, and you know actually the government owes you $1.5 million because something to do with a treasury bond, and yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. It's like I call it pseudo legal arguments, and you know it's like kind of based in reality, but like if you actually look at it practically, it's like no.
Yeah, it never works. These people always go to jail, and they're all other delusional, and some of them are grifting and just like leeching off of other people and tricking.
Storm right out of here. Storm right out here. Almost hit somebody.
You almost just murdered someone. How about you get that on your life? I saw it. Your body almost just ran somebody over.
To be honest, I think that was a fair. Like, you're trying to get out of there. These people are surrounding your car. You go very slowly. As soon as that car started approaching that guy, the guy literally jumped on his hood and started punching the windshield. That is no hit and run. That guy in the car is no undercover David Zegarak, the Antifa guy that ran over Freedom Convoy protesters in Winnipeg. That, you know, anti-hate and all, like, the media pretended like he wasn't involved with Antifa and it wasn't some sort of politically motivated assault or potentially, what do you call it, attempted murder. No, I think this is a nothing burger.
You need to see yourself out of here. You almost just murdered somebody. Get that on your life, yeah?
This is all a bunch of infiltrators.
Now, my love. See ya, sweetheart.
Let's see all the faces of the infiltrators.
God bless you.
Infiltrators.
God bless you.
Yo, POV, you're being attacked by the BoomerWaffen.
You're being attacked by a cult, and they're about to put you in a fucking Wicker Man. That's what, like, that's the vibe I got out of this. It's like, imagine like you're walking through all these people, the way they're looking at her. Like, look at these guys' faces. They look like they just want to fucking snap her, man. People pointing at you.
Oh man. Okay, this is the best part of this video.
There too.
That's a 10.
Get the fuck out! Get the fuck out, you fucking bitch! Get out! Get out! Get the fuck out!
God bless you. God bless you.
Bitch! Get out!
He's got the crazy eyes right there. Holy shit.
Fuck out, you fucking bitch! Get out! Get out!
Does it say focus on love?
Yeah.
How fucking ironic. Oh my god.
You fucking bitch! Get out! Get out! Get the fuck out!
God bless you. God bless you. God bless you.
Hands on me.
God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you.
This woman's like trying to, exercise. Or, is that how you say it? No, like, like she's trying to perform an exorcism on this lady right now, The
power of Christ compels you. The power of Christ compels you.
Yeah.
That's literally how they're doing it. They think that saying, like, Jesus loves you is just, it masks the fact that you want this person the fuck out and you hate them. Like, come on.
My place.
Your place?
I live in here. So yeah, I was just wondering.
What do you think I'm doing right now?
God bless you. God bless you. God bless you.
What did that guy say to her when he first came up?
God.
Sorry, what?
What did that guy say to her? Like, he whispered something in her ear when he first came up.
Let's hear. How far back?
Like, right when the guy with the black shirt and yeah.
Bless you. God bless you. God bless you. God.
Come, let's do a sing-along of Oliver Anthony again. Come on.
Yeah.
Bless you. God is with you. God bless you.
And then this guy, it's like the
God bless you. God
it's like
bless
she
you.
turns around to try to leave again, and then it's like playing Oblivion, dude. It's like an NPC's yelling at you. You turn, and all of a sudden, it's like there's a guy ready to fight you. It's like one of the fucking guards, you know, one of the.
That's such a good comparison because they are like right-wing NPCs. I think Rage said this last night. They'll just start sounding off their sound bites, and even when we saw Puck Daddy, it was just like a bunch of hype sound bites that he probably heard for any sports game before that. And now he's applying it to something, giving no details, giving no ideology, giving no coherent plan in order to do anything. And we'll see after we look at all this footage what Puck Daddy had to say about all the naysayers.
God bless you. 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 God bless you.
No, the other ones are cheering. They're all
Dawn of the
in.
BoomerWaffen. Dawn of the fucking BoomerWaffen. This is a new George A. Romero movie.
That group of people.
Yeah. Can we slow this down? Hell yeah. Elon Musk, thank you. Oh no.
Oh, just boom, boom, boom.
The ground is shaking from the amount of cheese in these people and the shockwaves that their sandals are putting
All
upon
these
the
women
ground.
look like they either work at like the kitchen of a fucking cafeteria or as a janitor.
Oh boy. So that's what we're dealing with, right? And if you go on Facebook and you try to say anything about this, now I know Greg Wycliffe, he was speaking out about this, like, I think he did like 3 or 4 videos on Twitter, but Facebook is one of his biggest platforms, and I looked at at all the comments, like, going against him for him calling out the Save the Children convoy, and they're absolutely deluded. One thing is that they never use proper sentences or proper grammar. Now, I really do think this is an IQ problem in many ways.
Dude, probably half
You
the
agree?
time they're literally like pressing the text-to-speech button on their phone or on their tablet, and they're just ranting, like, you know, yelling at their device, and then that's writing out these sentences. Like, I wouldn't even be surprised if they're not actually able to type these out. They're just like sitting there on their phones, you know, talking into it, you know, making some big fucking incoherent rant. But yeah, their grammar is definitely very bad, and like their spelling, like I'll see people spell things, it's like, holy shit, you don't know how to spell that, and like I can't
And
think of a great
if you're
example.
trying to put forth a coherent point, you need to use punctuation so that the person reading it can make sense of it in their head, and they don't have to decipher whatever your BoomerWaffen code is.
Yeah, they're basically like all caps. That's basically how I read their things. Anything they say is just like a paragraph of all caps.
So I guess this person got run off the lot. We still have no idea what his connection is to this Jane Sharp character. I guess she's some kind of mafia boss or a Fed that's infiltrating all of this.
And God bless that. He just sprayed on my phone. Spray painted my phone. Yes, he did.
Her phone got sprayed. What did the phone get sprayed with?
We can't see it, by the way, right now.
Oh, sorry. My bad. I'll
There we go.
replay that.
All good.
Some of them don't know what they're doing, and God bless that. He just sprayed on my phone. Spray painted my phone. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He just...
Hopefully that's actual spray paint and not bear mace or any other prohibited weapon in Canada. Like, my God, you can't have something like that. Especially not in Toronto if you're riding the TTC. That would be racist against black people.
Spray painted my phone.
He spoke to the property owner. He said if you guys do not leave here, he is coming here himself. And
Okay.
He's going to bring the cops.
Okay, go ahead.
I just talked to my landlord. This
Go
is
ahead.
private property. I just talked to my
Does she have a mustache? No. Okay, no. I think the video is just a bit grainy.
landlord. You guys got to leave before my landlord
Yeah.
comes through.
That's good.
He asked if you guys can
Well, it'll be on live here that he
stand
just
over there.
spray painted my phone.
Okay.
Look at the guy in the red shorts there. My God, it looks like he has no teeth in like the first second of that video before you press play. It's like, fuck.
Well, we do have our own, I guess, I don't know if these are playing cards, but our own memesters have done a great job with this. I want to bring this up. Hold on. Okay, so I think Lee Stewie came up with this idea, and she was like, press 1, 2, 3, or 4, or give a different emoji for your Freedom Boomer fighter. And then Tofu TV started making all these memes with it, and I think this guy McNasty, he made this into this epic choose your fighter meme. So, can you see this? Okay, yeah, now you could see it.
Yep.
So there you go. Yeah, I think we should meme these people into oblivion, and we should make examples out of them with comedy to show that this is not how you're supposed to act. This is not how you conduct a plan. This is not how you do politics. Let's laugh. It's funny because they've been silent for the last day. I was hoping for new BoomerWaffen material today, but I think that they embarrassed themselves so bad last night and yesterday that they've just been silent ever since. What do you think? Do you think they have the self-awareness to like recalibrate and at least maybe think of a new plan? Or do you think they're going to go full tilt?
I think it depends on how in their echo chambers they are, because these people are, if you go on Puck Daddy's comments, he still gets like, a good couple dozen comments on some of his posts hyping him up for his ridiculous cringe that he's talking about. And even the ones where he was, trying to come at people like Greg, who were pointing out how stupid this whole idea was. Tons of people are like, yeah, man, all these people are trying to divide the movement. And, we got to keep the movement going and all this kind of shit. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're, not actually that embarrassed. I think they might just be laying low today because maybe like there's nothing really going on. But
I think these people are somewhat immune to embarrassment, and that's why they would show up in pajamas and sandals.
Well, dude, I've seen this video. I sent it to you probably last year sometime, and it was like fucking Puck Daddy and all these retards, and they were in Tilbury, which is like a small hick town, in southwestern Ontario, and they're in Tilbury for this like convoy event thing around this time of year. And they have like a truck, trailer as like the stage, and they're up there singing like this Truck Yeah song by Desi Ranks, who's like another one of these people. And it was just like the camera goes up and pans up there, and it's Puck Daddy, and like he's doing his whole white rapper thing, and they're like just being cringe as fuck. And then it pans around to the crowd, and there's like 20 people kind of like awkwardly scattered apart in this like field watching this, and it's so fucking cringe. And
there's
sad.
One clip you showed me where like Puck Daddy was trying to slap 5 everyone, and he got like rejected, and then he pulled a fast move to recover for it. I love that clip.
Yeah, that's the clip I'm talking about, dude. It's so fucking cringe.
Well, anyways, here is a good friend of mine, Chad Latanzio, who I want to make some content with in the near future. He understands what's going on. He's a young guy, nationalist that lives near me, so we're gonna collab soon. Looking forward to it. And yeah, we want to protest against things that really do matter and that we can articulate properly, and we will try to bring it to the closest area to have an effect on policy or the culture, whatever we can. We're going to try to be really smart about it, but we want to protest stuff like mass immigration. That's a huge problem. In fact, me and my girlfriend, Lee Stewie, we did a protest earlier this year in front of a migrant hotel, and there's been about 5,000 migrants that have come into hotels in Niagara Falls just from 2022. Like from Roxham Road, illegal immigrants, and they're coming there, and nobody knows what the fuck is going on. Nobody could say anything about it. Even like other migrants or other minorities are getting fed up with it. Like nobody could afford anything here anymore, but still there's no protests that are actually addressing this issue. So it's absolutely crazy what is going on here now. Like, is anybody gonna bring this up? And I feel like the state is ready to crack down on us or deal with us in any way that they can once we start actually bringing up these issues in a serious way. So we're going to be ready for it. But let's see what Chad Latanzio has to say. Go follow him on Twitter if you can too. Chad Latanzio. Hold on.
It's like Save the Children East versus West convoy that was supposed to happen over this week, and all the footage from it makes it seem pretty ridiculous. There's a couple of memes that are made making fun of these people. I'm not gonna lie, every time I see these parking lot meetups like this, it does look like your local crackhead meetup at your local Tim Hortons. So it is kind of funny when you put it that way. But look at what happened here. People started fighting against each other, and I don't really know the context of this video, why this person jumped in this person's car, but the fact is these people are talking about like arresting politicians, surrounding the police officers, stuff like that. Like, that's not really a good idea, and I'm the first person to call out these motivational masturbators who go to parks on Saturdays and wave flags and have concerts and get drunk and think that they're actually doing something. I'm the first person to call that out, saying that's stupid and ridiculous. But this is also stupid and ridiculous. You're not going to overthrow your government with 10 crackheads in a parking lot. It's not going to happen. If you want a real example of somebody doing that, look at what the Taliban did a couple years ago. That's a very strong, well-put-together organization with billions of dollars of U.S. military equipment. And do you really want to take the country by force? What kind of world is that going to lead to? Then someone's going to try and take you by force. It's not really something that you want to be getting into, and it's not something that can be accomplished anyway. So people doing this, you're just asking to get yourself in trouble, because you're not going to succeed at overthrowing any government whatsoever, arresting any politicians, or surrounding the police with, like I said, like 10 guys in a parking lot. It's just not going to happen, okay? You would need an organization like the Taliban to actually overthrow a government, because they did that. I'm not saying that's a good thing whatsoever. It's not, but that's what it takes, and not 10 guys in a parking lot. Like, that's just completely stupid what's happening here. I don't like it at all, and I'm glad not that many people got sucked into this.
Well, there you have it. What is the takeaway there? Do we need to create our own Taliban?
Based Chad.
Yeah, Chad just brings up the Taliban like 3 or 4 times. No,
Look, guys, this isn't going to work. But I mean, like, if you were going to do something that worked, here's a few ideas. That's what Chad's doing.
Yeah, that's a total Chad move. But no, I agree with him. That's not the way to go. Because what kind of society are you living in if it's just like, you know, the new insurgency gets to rule, like brute force? No, we could do better than that.
Well, I think what Chad's video accurately points out is how these people clearly haven't thought about anything like at all. You know, it's like they didn't think past like step 1. They're like, step 1, get rid of Trudeau and overthrow the government, and then it's like, okay, and then what? What happens after that? And it's like you can tell they've never actually thought about these kinds of things at all. You know, like they're so focused on got to get Trudeau out, you know, and all their QAnon schizo conspiracies that, you know, they've never actually thought about logistically how would we do X, Y, and Z, which is why they end up doing these horrible, you know, fake convoy events, like trying to relive the hype of something that happened, you know, last year, because they have no idea about how to actually move forward, you know, in any meaningful way beyond that.
Yep. Well, Puck Daddy bringing it home, bringing it full circle with this Oliver Anthony song here. This is from like last week on his Twitter account.
What you do, and I don't think you know, and I know that you do, and your dollar is shit, it's tax and owing, not the rich man, not the rich man, let's go.
Let's go.
There we go. And now here's my edit. Oh, sorry. Wrong. I just put the Puck Daddy thing there again. Here's my edit that I posted on Twitter and Telegram earlier tonight. Not like a crazy good edgewave edit, but just a good contrast, a good funny like meme edit.
I've been selling my soul, walking all day. Make democracy happen.
Sorry, what was that?
Sounded like he said walking all day.
Is he butchering the lyrics? Really? I know you know the lyrics probably more than most people.
He's either butchering the lyrics or his like accents coming through really strong.
I've been selling my soul, walking all day. Make democracy happen. All the time I heard the bullshit, man. There's infiltrators behind us. So I can see it out here. waste my life away. Drive back home and drive my troubles away. It's a damn shame what the world's gotta do.
Get the fuck out, you fucking bitch!
People like me, people like you.
God bless you! God bless you!
I wish to just wake up and it not be true.
The numbers so far, from what I've been hearing, are what, 3 million.
But it is. Oh, it is. Living in the new world.
There, just a quick edit, you know.
Oh my god.
A few different juxtapositions to what they're talking about and what you actually see, right? So I don't know what you think about this topic. I've been thinking about it more lately, but what do you think about eugenics, right?
Well, I mean, it's definitely a tricky conversation, but I mean, we do, like, I'll give you an example of where eugenics has been used, where it's like clearly has positive, you know, outcomes. It's like dog breeding is eugenics, right? Like specifically breeding dogs, and we do this with tons of animals to achieve certain traits. You know, like we created certain types of horse breeds, for example, that are really good at pulling things, and there's certain types of dogs like German shepherds that are very smart and good at hunting and good at, you know, like defending people and these kinds of things. So eugenics in itself isn't a bad thing. I think eugenics can be you know, used for harm, obviously, like when you have the government who's maybe using some sort of eugenic program to ethnically cleanse a certain type of people, these kinds of things. There's policies that can also help do that aren't necessarily involved with the eugenics process, but like one of the ladies who started like Planned Parenthood, Margaret Sanger, was a eugenicist, and she hated black people, right? So she just thought that black people should be like wiped out.
Right.
And
that's a classic Alex Jones talking point, and he uses that as like a cudgel or a talking point to say that the Dems are the real racists, right?
Yeah, no, and I think that a lot of times like eugenics gets a bad rap because of like that association and the association with like Nazis, you know, and the Aryan race and all that kind of stuff. There often gets kind of like it gets blended. Those conversations get blended together when I think you can have a conversation about positive things to do with eugenics that aren't necessarily talking about like ethnic cleansing and race and being racist and all these different problems.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you just had a very good nuanced take about all of this. And I think eugenics needs to be more on the mind of people who want to go forward into the future. Like every decision is a eugenic decision because every day we're dealing with our genetics in our environment. They're interacting with each other, and like, I don't know if it's like 40% genetics or 50% environment as well, but these things coincide, and like every day we have these habits that are ingrained in us. We have this DNA that like determines our biology, which includes some of our thoughts or many of our thoughts. So each day it's like a struggle to you know, maybe transcend some of the genetics that we're instilled with and create a different environment. But we have to understand that if you have people who are acting like this, maybe there's a lower IQ involved, and then you're never going to get the results that you're looking for. They're not going to be able to formulate a plot in order to get what they want actually done, or even articulate it well, right?
Well, I think, you know, unfortunately in politics, there's people who should be followers and then there's people who should be leaders. And a lot of people that end up being leaders in this sphere are the people that should just be followers. Like all these people should literally have nothing to say and just, you know, let somebody who knows what they're talking about lead them. You know, they can be foot soldiers, if you will. And just talking like that, people, you know, it comes across maybe as thinking you're better than people or being arrogant or something, but it's like, it's just the truth. Because if you let everyone talk, then you go to one of these PPC events, or you go to an event like one of the convoy things nowadays, and like there's just so many people that are talking who don't really have anything of value to be saying, and they're kind of stupid and they're not very intelligent. They didn't like prepare a speech or anything. They're just kind of riffing up there. And this is where you end up with, you know, like the whole freedom. It's like that's all they could say. And then now that's become a meme with the leftists, where like they view anyone who supported the convoy or anyone who was anti-vax as being like a free dumb free dumber, because that's all they heard was just freedom and like honking and stuff. because not enough people, long and the short of it, came up to speak that actually knew what they were saying. So sorry, I'm just going off on a tangent about dumb people talking.
No, that's perfect. And I'm showing a bunch of images to coincide with what you're saying. So here are some of the AI images that were going around. It took me, so I typed in exactly what was going on, as I said before, in that scene to try and get it like an exact replica. But somebody else, I told them that I was trying to do that, and then they did one of their own. So they got this specific one. No, not that one. That's a different one. But this is the guy punching the car. So AI is doing a pretty good job here. So what we as nationalists need to do is get on top of this AI stuff and use this AI to our advantage so that we could go forward into the future, like using less brain power for like all of the mundane tasks that need to do, like all the janitorial stuff in order to organize. And then we could have that covered by AI. And then, you know, use the rest of our brain space to be more creative, right?
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to happen in our lifetimes, though.
Well, we've been going for a while. Maybe I should check what the chat is saying, see if I missed anything. We have Lee Stewie saying Hadouken. Yeah. People are fighting, I guess that's Street Fighter or Tekken, I'm not sure. Iron Crow from Nova Scotia. I think that's one of the BoomerWaffen, Rage says. If you see anything funny in the chat, let me know. Oh shit, we have a bunch of super chats over on Entropy. Good to see. The spray paint was a whippet mishap, says Scott Baker. So he's saying that I guess the BoomerWaffen were so on drugs that they were doing whippets in the parking lot. You know,
whippets.
You know, that's not that far off from reality. Maybe some of these people had those whippet chargers. If you don't know what that means that they're doing nitrous oxide, the stuff that's at the dentist. I believe Steve-O from Jackass, he got really addicted to those while he was going on like PPC and cocaine binges, and, you know, he was almost lost, but they got him back and he's sober now. So yeah, maybe it was a whippet mishap. One of their nitrous canisters got all over her phone. You know, it happens. It happens when you party in the parking lot of a Canadian Tire and you're all drunk and you're getting a little bit sloppy and you're yelling freedom, freedom, and you start slurring a little bit. Well, thank you, Scott Baker, for that contribution there. Rage says, did the left actually clip my show to dunk them? That would be hilarious and a blatant admission that they fear my power. This was a strategic mistake, commies. Now I can smell the fear. Philip, fetch my coat. And no, that is true. So I'm going to find that right now. I'm going to show you. The TikTok scientist. Now, I did see some people reading in the chat like, oh, are we going to be clipping Jeremy McKenzie and sharing his content now? They're probably mad that this guy didn't use a disclaimer saying that you're an evil neo-nasty. So maybe this TikTok scientist guy, he's going to get disavowed now. So, yeah. Check this out, Jeremy. I'm going to read the next super chat now. Rage saying, I met Jane once in Ottawa. She told me to bribe the Crown attorney. That was a real story. That wasn't a joke that I made up. That was her actual advice. Indictment charge of bribing a state official. She has a few cats. So I guess she's a crazy cat lady with her own idea about the law. And you know, most free men gurus on the land, sovereign citizens, they have some crazy shit like, you need to cite the Magna Carta. You need to do this. You need to do that. You need to say all your sentences backwards and do them all in caps and use 3 commas between each word. Like some schizos literally think that. And yeah. Anyways, this one just wants you to bribe everyone. So yeah, I'm sure that'll work out great. I'm sure that'll just stack upon the charges that he already has, that he could defeat if he actually has a good lawyer, because they're bullshit to begin with. We have Sorry, Walcar. I want to get this right because he uses a different font. Walcar Biner. If you want to win, just get in front and say, "Infiltrators behind me." Works every time. Yeah. So if you call the last person that just spoke and you get in front of them and call them an infiltrator, by BoomerWaffen rules, you are now the new leader of the Kingdom of Canada.
Yeah,
so
it's the Spider-Man meme. They're all pointing at each other. No, you're the infiltrator.
Awesome. All right. So I think we're caught up there. So I want to show you guys a few clips that weren't shown last night on the Ragecast. It's going to lead into some interesting conversation in regards to like the mentality behind this. And I think that QAnon is slightly involved. Now, this isn't like a typical QAnon situation, right? Because QAnon involves like some really far out there conspiracies that do take some like mental work, right? Like when Puck Daddy's just yelling freedom and it's gonna happen. Oh, it's coming. We're gonna go there. Like that doesn't really take that much mental power. But some of these people, they go really deep into their conspiracies. And I think Queen Romana is actually really good at facilitating that kind of thing. So here's this guy. First off, just to preface this, Jason LaFace. Does anybody know this guy? I've seen his videos, and each time I watch these, I just get cringe the fuck out. Like, I don't know what's going on here. So, this TikTok scientist guy says, Jason LaFace claims that Romana Digilo ran over his mother with her Winnebago in Ottawa during the Freedom Convoy. Jason has all the fun stories, true or not. So, this is a classic BoomerWaffen TikTok, and it's so funny how these people use TikTok. It's like how children use TikTok. Like, you know, they'll watch a video and then nod to it and be like, yeah, yeah.
So this video is going to quickly address the secret sauce. The secret sauce.
I don't care anymore. Queen Romana, is she fake? Queen Romana. Two things with that girl.
Wait, what? What was the secret sauce?
And why is she pointing up at him? Is this her video reacting to him or his video and he like put her on there?
I have no idea, to be honest. This might be the work of this leftist here, this commie TikTok scientist,
right.
And he's just psyoping us as well. But either way, let's see what he has to say.
I don't care anymore. Queen Romana, is she fake? Queen Romana. Two things with that girl. One, she's a fake. She's a fake queen. What she's doing, she has mental health issues. She has been committed a few times, and she could be potentially dangerous. She's fucked over her own members, where, you know, a couple of them have lost their homes. They sold their homes, or they were forced to sell their homes. She takes money from a lot of people, and she treats people like shit. Now, on the side of fighting for freedom, on the other hand,
giving your house up for this bitch.
Yeah. No, it happens. Like, she had like 70,000 followers on Telegram. I think it got like whittled down to 50,000 somehow. And Telegram puts fake beside her name. So Queen Romana, like her Telegram has fake beside it. And I think Telegram did that. They've never done anything like that before, as far as I know.
At least she's fighting for freedom, right? At least she's fighting for freedom. She's out there protesting. But you know what? I'd stay away from her. She ran over my mother during
Queen Romana ran over your mother?
She ran over my mother during the convoy, okay? Her and her driver hit my mom with their fucking Winnebago on Slater. And we have it on video. And the police did nothing about it. So that just goes to show what I know. So...
His mother got freaking run over by Queen Romana? Dude, that's crazy. That's like... Is that attempted murder? Vehicular manslaughter?
Well, but then the best
assault
part
with a Winnebago weapon?
The best part is when he says the police didn't do anything about it, so you know what that means.
Oh, they're on the side of Queen. The Queen has the police on her side. She's the real Fed. She has the police on her payroll.
Yeah.
What?
Oh my God.
These people cannot think anything through. They always want to speak. They never want to think. They don't have the IQ to do anything.
Anyone who's involved in like the right-wing anti-vax kind of sphere, circa 2021, if you like disagree with him on anything, then like they just automatically assume you're either a Fed or you're like an infiltrator, trying to like sow discord and disrupt the community, keep it down or whatever the fuck.
I'm sorry, if you have footage of your mom being run over by Queen Romana, you need to share that, please. We need to see this footage for research purposes and especially comedic purposes.
Well, and we need to lock her up, man. Any excuse to lock her up. Hashtag lock her up.
Yeah.
Winnebago on Slater, and we have it on video, and the police did nothing about it.
He has it on video, you just said.
About it. So that just goes to show what I know. So that's pretty much it. Yeah, Queen Dudilo, Romana Didulo, or whatever her name is. Just stay away from her, guys. I don't trust her, especially what I know. Fuck.
So this video...
Especially what I know.
Buddy, down bad. So this guy goes on to... So I'm like, is he at least smart enough to avoid all this BoomerWaffen stuff? Like, he knows that Queen Romana is mentally ill and is scamming people. He must be pretty smart. So what does he have to say about this Freedom Convoy 2023?
Veterans for Freedom. You're a snitch. Like I said, Veterans for Freedom paid opposition. Police on guard for thee paid opposition. These people against anything is paid opposition. I don't care anymore. Jeff Everly, Veterans for Freedom. You're a...
I don't know, is that like deceptively edited? Am I falling for a leftist psyop right now? I don't know. Well, anyways, people remember Queen Romana Didulo, right? She's known for such famous things as
We also have...
offering people sardines at her rally to overthrow, I think, the whole Canadian government with the help of her American QAnon connections in Peterborough. And I guess maybe she was going to take the Peterborough police captive first. I'm not exactly sure, because all these boomers, they got entangled in this crazy thing. I think 4 or 5 of them got arrested. They pushed the police back into their police headquarters, and then they started slamming on the door. Like, as the police were going into their headquarters, they were chanting things like Masons, Masons, Masons. And they were getting they were getting arrested for things like resisting, or going against police orders. It was pretty crazy. One of the funniest scenes I've seen in like Canadian BoomerWaffen history. But anyways, this is her, Queen Romana, feeding her royal peasants, I guess. Sorry, what is a queen feed her subjects? This is Karima, by the way, filming all of this with I think her boyfriend. What is a queen feed her subjects? Answer: veggies and sardines. So let's check it out.
We also have sardines. Thank you. I'll take some. Packet sardines. Here. Take the plate and pass it around.
Thank you for your generosity.
There you go.
Oh my god.
I cut them up myself. Alright, there you go. Thank you.
What a woman of the people. Oh,
there's gotta be something sexual going on here, man. This can't make it make sense to me. This
something sexual? What?
I
hope
can't
not.
Imagine another way people are like doing this willfully. Did you not hear that guy thanking her? He's like, "Thank you for your whatever, queen." Like,
maybe it's like... a BoomerWaffen humiliation fetish. Like, they're just so demoralized that they want to get humiliated by all these grifters and like mentally ill psychopaths.
I don't know. I'm just saying it doesn't make sense that people would actually, I mean, unless they're extremely mentally ill, actually fall for this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, look at the people with her. Like, how could you be doing this with someone and not realize how fucked this is?
I don't think I've ever eaten canned sardines. Like, can you eat them
kippers.
right out? Can you eat them right out of the can? Like, am I gonna get botulism?
No, yeah.
I guess they're canned, so
yeah, they're cured.
And pass it around.
Thank you for your generosity.
There you go. I cut them up myself. Alright.
She's a woman of the people, I guess.
And here's the sardines. If you guys
here's a can of sardines.
Pass it around. Okay. Whoever's hungry. Okay. Okay.
Oh, look at these gracious gifts from the queen.
All right. So I think we've gotten over the BoomerWaffen Convoy 2023. Unless anybody wants to like donate any super chats and show us, or in the chat, just tell us anything that I may have missed, because there may be some updates since then. Like, that would be much appreciated. But I think we're going to take a little break right here, and we'll get into some other topics. And once again, all the guys who have been recurring guests on the show before, feel free to join the link that I sent you or ask for a link, and, you know, we'll have a good time going forward. Probably go about another hour or so, but cheers. Let's keep it going. Do you have anything else to say about this BoomerWaffen Mafia? The Jane Sharf Mafia?
Well, they all need to be stopped. And to be fair, I've tried to be nice with them. You know, like with Puck Daddy, I didn't like just come out of the gate and be an asshole to him, but like...
Oh, yes, sorry. We have to play Puck Daddy responding to things.
Oh, yes. Well, real quick, my thing with him is like, he would argue with me about, you know, I was saying that like they were going about things the wrong way. This was like last year when they're still trying to like make new events all the time and shit. And I was telling him like, it doesn't do anything. Like, you're just preaching to the choir. It's not good. It makes you guys look like shit. It's cringe, all this kind of stuff. And he just like immediately goes from 0 to 100 with me. He starts like trying to insult me and call me a goof, and, you know, bringing my kid into it, and, you know, just like being a fucking asshole about it, when I was genuinely trying to offer some constructive criticism and just tell them how cringe it was that they were doing. And so
yeah,
he's just you know, him and people like him are just a lost cause. They will never have the self-awareness to realize how fucked they look, and they'll always think that anyone who's saying anything that is you know, trying to put us down, what we're doing, is either controlled op or, you know, just jealous, or they'll come up with a million mental gymnastics, you know, to figure out what we are, but it's never them, it's always us.
Am I on a podcast right now?
No, you're on a live stream,
okay.
bro.
Because
anything you say will be used against you in court.
Okay, because podcasts are they're bad now, right? Aren't they illegal?
Oh, is that what the new law, the CTRC?
I don't know. I'm just scared all the time. I'm just trying to be a good boy and just be terrified all perpetually about everything, every day.
To be honest, I have no idea exactly what this new law entails. It seems like people are arguing on both sides. What it sounds like is they're putting in the groundwork in order to eventually censor us all. I know that they're trying to make this, like, these hate speech laws and these, like, online safety bills that they're working on, and they're trying to, like, East meets West, you know, freedom boomer convoy terms, just to make it easy for the boomers. They're going to take, like, all the regulation stuff, like Bill C-11, C-18, all these different things, and they're going to meld them together.
Yeah, there's like a what the laws are going to be. That's one bill, and then another bill was how to punish people for breaking those laws. Like there's like a follow-up one that's like you get the old one too. I thought I was going to get to change my name. Like when I joined, I was going to say a Queen Romana survivor.
Well, the thing is with Zoom, I don't know how to make the name bigger.
Yeah, I think that's what, or Jane Sharf survivor. One of those. I don't know.
Well, you didn't use her as a lawyer, so you didn't get the proper bribes you need to get in place in order to beat the system. You could have beat the system, man.
Man, it was surreal, you know. We're talking to everybody. We're meeting everybody. You know what I mean? Morgan's very polite. She's very nice. She's very friendly. So we talked to a lot of people. We met a lot of people. Anyway, the stuff comes up, and she's like, "Oh yeah," she like basically acts like she's like speaks as though gives you the impression she's a legal authority. Like she's either a lawyer or a retired judge or something, right? That's the level of confidence with which she's talking about, legal matters for which no one else in the room knows anything, right? And I don't know anything really, but I know when somebody's full of shit, and pretty quick, I'm just like, you're one of these fake lawyer grifter people, aren't you? And Morgan was talking about some of my charge, because that was just shortly after I'd been arrested the first time and charged. And she's like, here's what you gotta do. You tell them, this is a quote, you tell them how much to get me off. I said, excuse me? How much to what? You want me to say what?
Is she confusing her prostitution side business? I don't know.
I immediately was like, this is not a good way to put. Okay, my brain. I was overwhelmed. I was like, this is terrible wording. I'm not bribing people. What the fuck are you saying right now? And I said, what? And she goes, no, they'll know what I mean when you say this, implying there's some kind of secret like lawyer lingo, like a password. If you say banana peel, they'll give you a discount. You know, I was like,
you say the magic words.
Yeah, she says, how much to get me off? And then that's how, and they'll just pay to make it go away. I was like, okay, Jane, I will do that. Yep. And then we left. And then as soon as the door closed, Morgan was like, what do you think of that? I was like, that woman is crazy. This is crazy. That is a grift. And she's here giving people legal advice. And it was just like, what are you doing? This is a woman that lives with her cats in Ottawa. And she's just on the internet, like, here's how you beat the law. I'm like, why aren't you worth like $50 million? Do you know who would love to beat the law real fucking cheap and fast? Every single person fighting the law in the whole country. That's very valuable service and advice you'd be offering. If it were true, you know, holy shit, people, use your brain. I'm one of the most intelligent and sophisticated legal minds of our time. I can single-handedly subvert I will get you out of anything. And that's why I live with my cats. I choose to. I like to. I like to live here like this.
That's why I don't lay off of the cheese and wear pajama pants at protests in order to take them over, right? It's
just
crazy,
so
man.
bad looking, man. It's like you guys have so much, like, and this is why I'm like, another reason that makes me just like, it's almost contempt at this point. Like, you don't even seem to realize what you even look like, or you don't care, or you have so little respect for yourself and me and us as a fucking world and society to just get up every day, look at yourself and be like, this is good. This is fine. I'm good to go. Like, I would be worried I could die on the shitter. Just like you're more like some of these people, I'm like, you're going to be dead like any day, man. Like, not a joke. You have, I can tell you don't know me. Yes, I do. I can tell you you're 50s. You have extremely high blood pressure, no doubt. You're obese, so your risk of death is extremely high. You seem to be chain smoking. Obviously, you like the liquor. You know, how long do you think you're going to live? Let's start there. You know what I mean? This isn't like, oh, you know, everybody's got a little bit. No, a lot of people are really sick, really unhealthy, not a little unhealthy. They're like, I don't know how you're alive still. I've seen people with less bullshit going on and they didn't live. So, I mean, expect turbulence ahead. I'm your health weatherman. Forecast people crying.
It is fascinating because these people, they are like hardcore anti-vaxxers, probably among the most hardcore. But
which ones?
These BoomerWaffen.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Well,
they're the ones who are actually susceptible to all this COVID stuff because they have like the 3 or 4 comorbidities that we try to tell everybody that, like, yes, all the people dying from COVID have all these different comorbidities or they're really old. These people have the comorbidities. So they're going to be the ones who flaunt any, like, not only do they flaunt the COVID stuff, like the COVID precautions, they just flaunt their own health. And then maybe at the end of the days, they'll like rant about ivermectin, but not actually take it.
It's
crazy.
They're frustrating because, like, I know so many of them because there's so many more of them than there is of us. Like, the boomers outnumber us like 2 to 1 because they didn't have any kids,
bro.
You know what I mean? So we're top heavy. As they get old and fade out, those spots in our society are not going to us, and there's less of us every year, and it's, you know, getting weird. But they're frustrating because they're just so lost. It's like they're good. Their hearts are in the right place, and they understand. Like, if they knew, like, you know, as well as we do, if you could just take, you know, like a USB cable, I'll just attach this to my brain, I'll hook it up to their brain, and it'll just, within 15 seconds, they'll know everything I know, and then you could just look each other in the eye and go, now you know what has to happen, you know, and they'll be like, you're right. You're right. It would just be, if they could know, but they've got decades of bullshit and programming and brainwashing, and they're so turned around and inside out and fuck. They never had a chance. By the time the internet rolled around, they were already fucking 40. They're already my age when the internet became a thing. Like, you know, we grew up with it, or at least I did. So I had access to extra shit for a long time, and they had no idea. They're watching CBC and going to bed. I'm here going, oh, that's nice. Is that what's on the news? And there's an Alex Jones saying crazy, like, there's shit all over the place. It was crazy. So from a young age, we had that. They never did. And now they're just kind of like sleepily like, what is going on out here? Like they're just coming out of the pod and still covered in slime, going, just take it back, take it all back. Like they're, you know what I mean? Like you need to relax. Right. First, you need to calm down. You need to calm down. You don't know yeah, you're right. There's a problem, but you're so twisted up and turned around. You don't know what your ass from your face. And you know, they're going crazy with these conspiracy theories. Like they're taking all of them at the same time and becoming a meme. And like that one video, one guy's yelling, World Economic Forum, and somebody probably was yelling about flat earth somewhere else. You know, they went from
we need more angles.
Yeah, they went from like mainlining just mainstream content their whole lives, and then like last year, 2 years ago, they fucking unplugged that and then just, you know, mainlined fucking straight conspiracy heroin for a year and a half, for 2 years. So all the shit that I had to, you know, acclimatize, I had time to acclimatize to it and absorb it and thinking about it. There was no crisis, right? It's like the world's the way it is. There's no imminent anything. You're just kind of like, now you know other things and you have to kind of rearrange. It wasn't like, you better hurry up and figure out what's going on because you're getting vaccinated Friday or fucking killing your family. You know, it was crazy. So they just went full send into conspiracy land. And, you know, it's like taking the kid to the bar for the first time. They've never drank before. And they're just like, what? They just tequila. And you're like, whoa, stop, slide. You're throwing up everywhere. Well, this is now you're embarrassing me, you know, and a lot of people, when they first get into this kind of stuff, they can spiral. You know, I'm sure we've all known those people, and they're like just posting crazy shit on Facebook all the time. All of a sudden, it's just going off in 30 directions. And you're like, oh, he's noticed a problem. That's the first stage. Those are the signs and symptoms of someone who's begun to notice things. And sometimes they just never come out of that. But it's like a weird psychosis they get trapped in. So they're frustrating to watch because it's like their hearts are in the right place, but man, they're so twisted up and turned around, and there's so much they can't tell, man. The brainwash and the lies. Like, the other thing about that generation that's fascinating is like they can look at a scam article or email or something, text message, and be oblivious that it's not that's bullshit. And they'll just click it and then get identity robbed and like, how'd that happen? Like they are not technologically lit. Like they can't read nuance. They don't know any of this shit. Like we grew up with it. They didn't. So, you know, it's like they can't communicate. It's like they don't speak that language, and we're all just yelling different noises at each other. Nobody knows what's going, you know, they have no idea what's going on. And they don't, it's interesting, but it's still early for them because they're at like year 1.5 of being a conspiracy theorist. Or whatever term you want to use. What did Buddy put on his hockey card? Year awakened or awakening.
September 2019, I believe.
The whole month month was his whatever it was, you know. But like a year and a half into me noticing things, I did not know fucking anything still. Not really. Do you know what I mean? Like it takes time. There's a lot of shit to know and find out about and read about. Like I'm talking years. This isn't something like, what video can I watch? I'm like, first of all, if I had to choose just one, it's like 20 fucking hours long. So book your weekend off, you know? And no one's like, oh, that's way too long. I'm like, yeah, because this isn't entertainment. This is a lot of information that you're going to have to sit and digest and think about and go fact check and then think about it again and then watch it again. And really, like, it's work. This is work. It's a long time. It's called, like, that's what education is. It's the same as anything else. Studying a subject for years on end, testing and retesting new theories and problems and trying to understand what's going on. How is that any different than anything else any grown man has ever done with their time, trying to understand something? So they've just, in a year and a half, 2 years, went from like, I think I'm going to bake a pie this fall for the bake sale, to like, Bill Gates is going to eat my skin. Like, you know, they're still in the initial explosion phase of finding out there's noticings. So I don't know, maybe in a couple of years, the boomers could become a super weapon. Because they have all that retirement money, you know.
Yeah, maybe
they could get real pissed off and decide to do crazy shit with it, you know.
Yeah,
who knows?
It really has been like a huge shock for them. Like right when 2020 happened with all this COVID stuff, it's just like conspiracy theories, right wing, all these things just became mainstream talking points all of a sudden. Like, and yes, there was a thing in 2016 with the Trump election, but it totally revived that. And now
that's when it started for them. Yeah, that was their like. That's when they became interested. You know, like the eyes. They smelled something or heard a noise. You know, All the Trump thing got their attention, and then they got invested in the game, in the whole game, right? That's almost a mistake, because as a mathematical formula, you'd have to think the more people involved in the game, like the world power politic, fucking the thing that's going on, the game. The more people invested in it and learning about it, knowing it is in exponentially higher risk of it falling apart, because for every 1,000 people that become interested, how many of them figure out what's really going on and then end up in wood piles? Can't be zero. So like every time there's these big events, it draws in bigger crowds, and from that crowd, you're going to get a few real nice fruit. It's going to bring new people every time. So,
and it could go either way, right? They could corral them into these different echo chambers, like on Facebook with these Facebook boomers, right?
I think every time they do it, there's loss, though. Like they're bleeding. Like every time it's like that's the trade. Every time I'm going, okay, I'm going to make a power grab. I'm going to cut something, sequester something, censor something. But out of that 100% of whatever it is you're censoring, you're going to lose 10% of it. 5% of them are going to go, what the fuck is going on here? Now they're gone forever. They've been alerted that you exist. You know what I mean? If you're the system pulling the strings, like there's a certain percentage of people that every time you make a move of any kind, it's like disturbing the water, and you want to do it as gently as possible, because if it's like a big splash, oh fuck, now they're all looking at me. Now I gotta fucking make excuses and make some kind of it's a super flu, guys, or the flu took the year off. I don't know. They're saying crazy nonsense because they're they're being under too much more scrutiny than they anticipated.
They've been red pilled and they can't turn back. And
a certain amount of people are going to be 9/11 kicked off how many, right? The bigger the move, the more people, the more eyeballs, the more likely some of those people are going to get, activated and become fucking far right extremists. So every time they do anything, that's why they're doing it. They don't do a lot too many times. You got to be real careful. And if you fuck it up, even if you don't, there's still going to be a certain amount of people that see it and go, wait a minute, this is fucking not right. Credible, smart people, people like James Corbett, guys like this, not, somebody in a parking lot selling hot dogs that also doubles as a fucking freedom warrior or something. I don't know. Somebody like that who's able to like show their work and make compelling arguments and, that kind of stuff. So, and they create more people like that. And those people are force multipliers.
With the freedom convoy, has-been types, is I feel like they don't have very many good like friend groups or social activities that they can participate in. So this is kind of like their thing, and it's become their life. Like they're not doing anything else. They're not playing sports with their neighborhood team or whatever.
Yeah, well, they took away all your social interactions for basically. Well, they didn't really. They just made you give it up, and you ditched everything for cell phones, and like we all did. None of us do anything as nearly as much as social as we used to. Because we're consumed with our fucking screens and phones all the time. When we didn't have those, we had nothing to do, so we went and found each other to do things with because it was boring otherwise. So we've kind of been sequestered now of our own doing. And yeah, you're right. This is because I know a lot of people that age, in their 50s and 60s, and it's like that's it. Like you don't have friends anymore. You don't really do anything. You're just kind of working, and the kids are grown up and gone. Right? They're just like, I'm just fucking paying taxes and waiting to die, I guess. And then this happens, and they've kind of been re-engaged in a way where they're back in the world and things are interesting and exciting again, and they matter. But that's they're basically babies. It's like everything's backwards. Like they should be the ones that are teenagers, and we should be teaching them. But like we figured shit out before them because of the internet and our interest in that and social media that came with it. So we got access to the Alexandria pipeline library way before they did, and we got the fucking pure shit. We got the uncut, unfiltered shit. We got the good stuff. We had the fucking Wild West YouTube when it was like, you want to know how many Jews killed Kennedy? I'm like, what the fuck is this video? And there's just whatever you wanted on YouTube. It was crazy compared to today's standards. Back then, it didn't seem, it was like, it's just the internet. The internet was always like that. It was like anybody was saying anything at any time and you could find wild shit. But YouTube really was a game changer. And then, so they were just kind of delayed. They didn't hear any of it. They're just still doing sports ball and doing their thing. And, now they're playing catch up. That's what I think is going on. So I don't know. Where will they be in on average because they get boring too. That's the other thing about the conspiracy theory hole. You get bored. and you want to find the next one, and then like what else is there? Like there's more information out there, and eventually you get bored with a topic, and then you investigate another one until that becomes that well is dry. You move on to another one, or at least that's how I did it, and then I just kind of went that way. But they will eventually tire of the same story and maybe look for some other ones to supplement their initial boomer knowledge, and then we'll see what happens. 4 to 5 years. That's how long it takes.
Or are you giving like an estimate of how long it'll take for the boomers to catch on to the rest of us?
If Ron Clark's hockey card is to be believed, September 2019.
Oh no.
21, 2, 3, 4. So, well, that's 24. Next September, that would be on average pace. On an average scale, he should understand by next September.
Are you adding IQ into the equation there?
No, this is a median score,
no.
total average on across the board. Boomer acknowledges issue. How long until? Like I had a family member that did that, and but he's smart, and he figured it in like a year, a year and a half. Didn't take it too long. And then it was another year of like doing this. Oh my fucking God. As we all do. You need a recovery year too. That's the other thing people don't remember.
I literally had a recovery year.
Yeah, I'm not kidding, man. I'm describing, I'm trying to be funny about it, but this is literally my life experience. I had to take time off.
From like the beginning of 2016 to like the beginning of 2017, I just got massively red pilled. I went through the whole phase of everything to being like, I'm no longer acceptable. And then like I wanted to branch out in more parts of my own life.
It becomes hard to ignore the things now, right? Because you're like, if that's not true, how am I noticing it all the time?
Yeah.
Right? And you're like, is this and then you're like, is it my imagination? I'm gonna go check again. I don't think it is. And check a third time and a fourth time, and eventually you're like, it'll drive you crazy to keep fighting it. And then it's like the Outer Limits episode music just starts playing, and you're like, I can't go back. I can never go back.
Yeah.
What have I done? And it's like you can hear laughing in the distance from the day. It's like, you took the forbidden fruit. You wanted to know after all. That's the curse. You want to know? Okay, we'll tell you, but there's a price to be had. Fuck.
You ate the apple in the garden. There you go. You got the forbidden knowledge.
I hope you like being stressed out.
Well, I feel like you do have to dive into it enough, right? For me, I want to make content, and then I saw that like I want to argue with people about things that I think are important, and that thrust me into it. Now I have other friends who, they probably agree with me, and if I really were to go down with each point logically, they'd be like, yeah. But then at the end of the day, they'll be like, I want to go golfing. I want to increase my golf score. And they don't want to deal with that, and it's probably a conscious decision that they don't, but I thrust myself into it, so there was no going back once I knew that this really mattered.
Other thing, because I did too, I kind of, it was fun at first, and then I don't know, it just became like a runaway train. I just kind of started doing it, and it just became something I did now, and then this is what I'm doing, and it's like it's just I'm going where it takes me. I'm like a dog chasing cars. But go ahead.
Sorry, yeah, we've been on a crazy adventure, like since we knew each other for like the last 3 or 4 years, really, and it's even both of us before that. Now I have a few super chats from Entropy. We have Richard Payne saying, "BoomerWaffen Uber Alice. We will save the kids once we get the libs out."
Yeah.
And then in brackets, "We will drink Bush in parking lot and yell at buildings," which is the reality of the situation.
Well, another part of the problem too is that like we don't communicate the same ways. I've come to learn that there's different personality types of people, and there's kind of like different sections of people. The biggest one is kind of like the worker bee class of humans, where they're the kind of person that's just like, I want to have a decent living, have a good job, make a decent money, wife, kids, whatever, and just kind of be left alone and just I like to ski. You know, they're just, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. But they're not interested in a lot of this shit, and they don't care. And because we are so interested and we know so much that it's like an alien trying to explain how a spaceship works to somebody who's like, what the fuck are you even talking about? You know, they don't, where do you even begin with some of these people? So the communication barrier is crazy, so that we sound crazy to them, you know, at least for a while. And now they're often, this, you know, I mean, the ones that are, you know, kind of figuring stuff out, but they're still in this weird, like, QAnon tailspin. They're accusing everybody of being infiltrators and like, I don't know.
I'm telling you,
I think the stress level has to come down. That's the problem. If the stress level comes down enough that they can think, and that's really what's going on, I think they're really stressed out people. Like
you see this
evil.
Puck Daddy guy.
I don't want to have them lined up and killed or anything. I'm not a fucking maniac. I'm just, guys, you had it coming. Fuck, that was embarrassing. Obviously, you have to admit that. You know, that's insane. But yeah, they're stressed out. A lot of them. Some of them are just narcissists that like the attention, and like you said there, you just, first time in your life you're involved in something and you can feel important and, you know, all this kind of stuff. And then I think they got addicted to it from the convoy days when things got really crazy. Like the rallies were getting big right around the cities, and all this stuff was really starting to kick off, and it was exciting for them. And now that's all over, and they don't want to go home, so they're just still trying to keep the high going. It's like a junkie looking for a fix or something.
Right. Well, let's see what Puck Daddy. We were gonna watch this.
Oh, right.
I don't know if this is a cope. Oh yeah, this is a cope after like
6 days ago. It says.
Yeah, it's 6 days ago. So this is not after the shit just happened. So I did chirp him over here, and he still seems to be defending this.
What's up? Good morning, guys. Just want to clarify a few things. First thing, I hear a lot about people saying, "Why are you guys doing this during Tamara and Chris's court case?"
Music, man.
Well, first of all, guys, Tamara or Chris have absolutely nothing to do with the Save the Children convoy. Let's just make that clear right now. And the outcome of their court case.
You should have put music from Rocky 4 or one of the sequels, right?
This is like directed by Christopher Nolan. This is a Batman 4. He's the new villain. He's the Griftler.
The Griftler
has no bearing on what we do, okay? So stop worrying about that. Secondly, I've been seeing a lot of people who are trying to downplay this convoy and try to say to stay away from it. Okay, well, first off, I want to let you guys know you got a couple options.
Sorry, what?
You killed me. I need to say this as someone who's like, I'm not a good artist, so don't like take that away. But I'm like a really bad, shitty one, that like a guy that's drunk but just can't be bothered to fucking try that hard. And you're like, you're wasting your potential. And you're like, yeah, I know, but I'm an idiot and I'm lazy and I don't care. That's my contribution to the art world. But it's the only time. So he's making, this is a serious video, right? This is to him. He wants to have a serious response. So people are supposed to take this seriously. This is a big deal. It's important. Okay, got it. Good. If you're going to use the fucking Hunt for Red October soundtrack or something equally over the top, like from a Hollywood action movie, your video had better be, and I mean bare minimum, helmet cam footage of you clearing a fucking building in Mariupol and murdering people. That's cringe. That's the only time. This is you walking around. No music, and it's instantly 100% better. I just had to say that. Anyway. I'm sure Edgy agrees.
He's getting people's emotions up, okay?
We've gone this far.
That's the thing.
And we've let
who see this and are like, my heart is banging, let's go. Like, that's not who you want to show up, man. Please.
So much just slide through this country. We've let people ruin this country, the fabric of our identity, and everything else. Attack our children, attack our women, and attack on our men. All right? You got a couple choices here.
So the guy's making hockey cards. Can somebody make like action figures and do one for this guy where there's a string you pull? And there's an attack on our men. There's an attack on our women. Digital ID. George Soros. Like, it's just things he heard along the way. Like, I don't think he knows about anything he's trying to pretend he's talking about. He's just enjoying the look at me.
And he has the tone of like a fucking 12-year-old hockey coach. You know, he's like
really
the
not
30-year-old
confident in what
guy
he's-
who's helping coach
Yeah.
the little league team or something.
Really not confident in what he's saying at all, right? Like, how do you think this guy? What does the chat think? How do you guys think this guy would do on Dragon's Den? He's going to sell the plan to Kevin O'Leary. How do you think he's doing?
He's really good at like hyping things up, but
He
there's
can't
never
use the
any
music, though.
information.
He can't
Like,
use the music.
hmm.
He has to just go on his own personality and energy. See what he's got. I don't know.
I feel like he's one of those bloopers that like the guy will get completely undressed and then he
What?
yeah, he like
Oh,
the
like one of those ones where we're like, we couldn't put this on TV. It was too much, but this did happen on the show. It's on
Yeah.
the DVD. You can get it on the bonus features. Yeah, he just got naked and said, "What do you think of this, Kevin?" And we were like, "What the hell, security?"
Oh, sorry,
But-
sorry. I didn't mean undressed. Like he actually got naked in front.
Oh,
of
I
the-
thought you
the
meant like some crazy guy.
No,
I mean,
I
there's
was
some-
saying that the dragons would undress him, and they're like, "Take a
Oh,
look
yes.
at what happened to this guy." Okay.
Yeah, they would.
Verbally. Oh God, no. God, no.
Yeah.
The
You've
people
got,
who
no,
say
you've got no plan. You've got no goals. You've got nothing. You've got no cash flow. I've got no charts. I've got no history. I've got no forecasts. And for those and many other reasons, I am out. I am out. Oh, well, I'm sure other... No, this was a terrible idea. Yeah, it would be great. I would pay to see this. I want the bar rescue guy to come up
Yeah,
here and do a
John
reality show.
Taffer.
Yes, I want him to do a reality show commenting on this, just the general state of Canada.
I brought in bartender. It shows
Yeah.
that your 3 million are actually only 300.
Exactly. He's just going to go around commenting on everything. I'm going to make him ride the TTC just for the experience and talk about what that was like. You know, I'm going to take him to Banff or, hey, look, play Find the Canadians, drop him off in that Lake Louise, Alberta. It's just Indian people everywhere. Just see what he does. See what he says. I'm sure that's content. America. What is he doing right now? Is he still doing bar rescue?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, I think
John,
they,
do Canada rescue. That's money. America will love that show.
Man, John Taffer is a fucking treasure. That guy.
He's hilarious. His reactions are incredible. Like he hams it up for the camera. You know he does, right? But he's
I love when he puts people's faces in it. When he'll be like, "You are an asshole. Say it. Say you're an asshole."
He's an intense guy though, man. He's like a hardcore motivator. You know, he's like, I'm gonna give you tough love, but it's gonna work. You're not gonna like me, but you're gonna be happy you met me when I'm gone.
It's like
know?
he should have been a general in the army. And they're
Yes,
like, no,
it is-
we got something else for you. He's really
is
good
a-
at the restaurants.
Well,
you know?
that wouldn't be the general. The general just kind of wears a white glove and just like lifts his hand briefly, and then like 30 men just dogpile you.
Right.
They're usually sergeants that have 2 divorces, and it's not good. That's who Taffert would be.
Yeah.
He's the sergeant major for sure.
I've never
Say
seen
you're an
this.
asshole.
I've never seen this bar rescue, but I'm sure he's like the Kevin O'Leary of telling people that their business
dude.
fucking sucks, right?
It's actually one of my roommates when I was in the army. Actually, we both got promoted together and we were living in the same place. Fuck, that was a good time. That's what I do miss about the military. Those days were fucking, you like live with all your best friends and you're always just fucking blowing things up, shooting things, and like chasing girls around. Everybody's fucking, it was great. That was actually a pretty fun time to be in your 20s. I could have done worse, but we were sitting there watching this show and we were just sitting there hungover watching it all day. And he just shows up to these like dumps, like failing. It's a very satisfying show to watch normally. Like a shitty restaurant or like a failing bar or whatever. He's horrified. He's just like, good God, and just rips into them. And he's like, I'm going to fix this whole thing. And he like just goes to town and just basically takes over the bar and like redoes. And, they gives them money for renovations and stuff. But anyway, like normally they're functioning businesses after a while, because, this is what he does. And he's like treating it like a science. He's like, here's why your business sucks. Your food is dog shit. Your waitress was on her phone for an hour. Nobody wants to come here. He fucking gives them a reboot and they do good. But he should
his
come up here and do that to
personality
Canada.
is really unique. He's like a really tall, I don't know, he's probably like 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah, he's huge. He's
big,
a big
tall
fella.
guy, and he comes in like almost like a mafia boss. He comes in wearing a suit,
Yes,
his head real
his
high,
hair's slicked
skin
back.
right up.
Yeah.
And he just looks pissed off and disappointed.
Yeah,
sends
he
these,
looks like
secret guests.
Yeah, if you owed money to Tony Soprano, that's who I assume would show up to ask where it is. John Taffert? I have the money somewhere. Nope, I'm here for your bar. Oh, fuck, thank God. Yeah,
Well, we do have another super chat here, and now I think there's a bunch of imposters possibly in the entropy chat. We have Queen Romano saying, "Eat your sardines and express unfettered adulation for me." Think about it.
I heard things, man.
Who else cruises around in Billboard RV giving out sardines and fresh cut vegetables? I am your savior. So I don't know if that's the real Queen Romano. She only did give $3, so she is pretty. That it was pretty cheap, so maybe it is her. I don't know.
I heard things, that maybe that RV should be burned. It might have to be burned.
Well, I'm sure she's burned a lot of people to get it.
There's been weird sex cult allegations, and
whoa.
See, I was right
with her.
Yeah,
Jeez.
There's
God,
some weird.
No, please.
There's some weird shit going on in there. I think.
I knew it. I was right, Dan.
I heard you guys talking about that earlier, and I was like, I think you're close.
Are they slathering each other up with sardines?
I don't know, but I don't know. But that's a whole other. That's a cult. That's literally a cult, and no one cares. They send like how many federal resources after us, and it's like there's a woman running around with a cult. She's running people over, apparently, bankrupting folks, taking their money, telling them they don't have to pay their bills anymore because she waved her hands and they don't have to pay their bills anymore. Just give her the money, and they did. A lot of them. Are you going to do anything about this? Like, no, we're chasing the goat people around. Oh, fuck. Right on. Got it. Cool.
It is quite the psyop, I have to say. Now, on Entropy, it seems like there might be another imposter. We have Edgy D TV. Now, I don't know if I did that and I just went completely schizo and forgot. He said, my Entropy automatically opens up to the EdgeStream every time I open it. I finally figured out how to access my account when this goes live. Is this the default stream for Entropy, or is it just me? I have no idea what's going on with that. Can somebody just take my name on Entropy? Do you know?
This could be. I think you can change it to whatever you want. Yeah, this could be an advanced psyop. This could be CSIS trying a new thing. They're trying to gaslight you into being a schizophrenic.
All right. Well, I think it might be working. I don't know yet.
That's probably something a schizo would say, right? Imagine anything that happens that makes you question your sanity for a second. Like, wait, what? Am I okay? No. Everything that seems incorrect is some kind of government trick. I am perfectly sane.
Well, it is true for us.
Sticking to it.
Because they could be watching at any time, or they could be playing any sort of tricks, any new tricks that comes through, like their weird military exercises, or psyops as they call them, right?
They've been doing it. They have been watching us, and they are doing these things. So it's not it. That's the other thing. Oh, you guys are ridiculous. No, we're not. You want to see the files?
Yeah.
It's already happened before. Probably still is. People were trying to request their ATIPs and stuff for things from CSIS for their, I've seen my name in some of these files. I want to see. Oh, yeah, no, we can't. It's an ongoing investigation. Oh, it is? Right on.
Yeah, same here. And I'm looking forward to hopefully getting it. I don't know if I'll get rejected, but we'll see.
When did you put it in? Yeah, the wording has to be very specific.
2 days ago.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I don't know.
It might have to be very specific, or they may have fucking sealed that hole. If you know what I mean. Oh, fuck. No more foy pops. Who fucking did that? Karen, did you do that? Don't fucking do that. We're trying to arrest these people. Don't give them our fucking email. Jesus Christ. Any more of these Dagalon people call here, you don't fucking answer the phone. Are you fired? I gotta go get another nose piercing.
That's the HR right there? The HR
I think so. I think that I assume that's how it's going over there.
So Apperception says, "Hey guys, good show, Edgy. Nice edits, and for Jeremy, you can't spell chiseled muscles without the letters in mild cheese." This is a cheese reference. A bag of chips and some water is better than electrolytes for replenishment. Is this true? I don't think so.
What? Water is better than anything. Yeah, just drink water. That's the other thing.
God damn.
That's like a trick. It's some kind of big pharma trick.
So
you don't want water. Water's not good enough to hydrate you. You need my special power drink with all these chemicals in it.
What? What are you talking about? Oh, the thing we've been drinking when we were thirsty since the beginning of time is now inferior to something you've designed in a laboratory. Let me get right on it. That being said, I literally just drank one of these, but it came with my sandwich, which was equally poisonous, probably. So, I mean, you know, if you're going to eat garbage, just pick the healthier garbage, you know? Like Pita Pit and Subway. It's trash, but you can pretend it isn't, you know?
Fair enough. I'm loaded up on Subway tonight. Richard Payne from Beaton says, trust the plan, but if you ask what the plan actually is, you're a Fed. I guess that's just the way it goes.
There
you
was
ask for
someone
any
else
clarification or anything like that.
Well,
you're a
someone
Fed.
else that they were sitting around and somebody was saying, well, what's the plan? And they're like, well, let's hear what your plan is. And he's like, I don't have a plan. I thought you had a plan. And everyone's like pointing at each other like, well, who has the plan? I have the plan. No, you're the plan. That was essentially what happened. And now they're just kind of playing Grand Theft Auto in a parking lot, I guess. Well, that was yesterday. I assume they're all going to fucking bugger off and go home now out of that humiliating display. No one showed up. No one cares. It's ridiculous, man. Or not. Maybe it continues. I would love to see more content. I would love it to
I would love it to continue too, but I think that humiliation, it's going to be enough for them. I saw Puck Daddy say something like, "Oh, don't worry, it's going to happen at the end of the month or something."
Oh, for God's sakes.
They're going to recalibrate. I don't know if they're going to introspect and see what they did wrong, but it'll never go right with those people then.
Everything.
Yeah, everything went wrong. So how the fuck are you supposed to adjust for that?
I just, man, I don't get the arrogance of some of them too is just wild. And it's like, not just me, because I'm a crazy person. So, I mean, fair enough. You can be like, yeah, but he's out of his mind. I'm like, okay, sure. I can understand that criticism. But all of Veterans for Freedom, for example, I mean, these are professional war fighters. Like, we know how to do things like organization and moving large numbers of people around to accomplish goals and tasks. You know, that was kind of what we did, right? That's our whole fucking thing. So when you're like, this is the plan. And we're like, that is retarded and doomed to fail. You do not know what you're doing. Instead of calling them feds, you should probably go, oh, well, geez, maybe you guys should tell us what we should do. Or maybe what's going and educate. No, they're all feds and grifters. They're grifting away my grift. Like, they just immediately get defensive and attacked everybody. When, you know, it shouldn't even need to be said. That's the point. That's why you got made fun of, because it's like, how arrogant are you to think that, like, I'll just throw on some board shorts and sandals and I'll just go on Facebook and make a meme and we'll just go to Toronto and we'll just fucking overthrow the government and install a new one and somehow reset everything. But like, what the bro, you had it coming. You're acting crazy. You're acting like a fucking maniac right now.
It's that urgency that they have, though, and then it taps into this subset of people who don't know how to think these things through properly, to use like logic to be able to see that like 1 + 1 is equaling 3 here. Things don't make sense. It's not adding up.
Again,
right?
As like, I wonder if any of them are watching this or any of these clips get back to them. I hope it does, because every once in a while I'm in a decent mood to be like, I'm going to be a helpful person today. That doesn't last long, so they better enjoy it. But like, and I forgot the hell it was. It had something to do with the organizing and, oh crap. Yeah, I lost it. The boomers.
Well, yeah.
That's
one thing. Sorry,
the echo chambers. No, sorry. Yeah. So they don't. They're still internet new too. They don't understand how the shit really works. I mean, they just started. Oh, I awakened a year ago. Okay. Right. So first of all, do you understand that there are different audiences and like basically different neighborhoods on the internet for different apps and different websites? Like certain people go to certain places, and you know that's a well-known thing. That's like people like us know our way around town. If someone was like, "Hey, Edgy, can you take me to 4chan?" You might say, I don't think you're old enough to go there. You know what I mean? I don't think that's a place that's appropriate for you. You know, and where these people are like, oh, I don't know. They're in these echo chambers. And I don't think they don't even know that they exist. Or they don't even understand this concept. Where they're just in this feedback loop where there's like 7 or 8 of their friends and they're all just reassuring each other it's all the same. You know, and they've got their. I'm going to judge by the collective activity there. That whole combined group of people might have had, you know, 6,000 followers across the country paying attention to this. So in their minds, this amount of activity and online that they have is immense to them. They don't have an appreciation for how insignificant that it is. Like I've been trying to keep tabs on and just to measure like where shit's at, because it's been what I've been doing for years, and I don't think they have that. And they're just like when the convoy happened, I did what I normally do, and I went and looked around at all the, got out of my hole and crawled up, went, what's going on? And looked around and went, oh, fuck, this is okay. This is actually going to be a deal. Okay. They don't seem to have that. And they're just like, we're doing it again. And assumed it's like they're baby. They don't seem to know how any of this stuff works or how people work or how the internet works or what. So it's dangerous,
It is.
And on purpose. We're in these ghettos on purpose. And maybe this wouldn't have happened if we weren't all banned from all these things. Because we're, like I said, we're in different neighborhoods. If you want to find people like us talking sense, you got to go to like Telegram. And they don't even know how to use, what's a Telegram, They're all on Facebook for the simplicity of it, the ease of it, and everything there is the most moderated. Facebook is the most ruthlessly censored platform, and that's where most of them are. And they're on there trading things and in Facebook group chats about how, we're going to take the country back. Like you're literally in kindergarten as far as what's going on around here. And you're still in jail. You're using their apps to plot against them. That's how little awareness you have of what's going on. You understand the police and the FBI, like we all know this. They could just go into your group chats and Facebook. They have a like revolving door with Facebook. Whenever they want, whatever they want, from whoever they want, you ask, you got it. Facebook will hand it right the fuck over. Anytime they want. That's happened numerous times in court cases and stuff already. And they're all out there like, oh, we got a secret group. I'm like, they probably have a fucking private Facebook page and they think it's some kind of secure location. You've seen them.
Yeah.
Like that, dude, that's going right to the desk of the RCMP if they want to. First of all, and that's probably a good thing, right? It's probably a good thing.
You just raised a point that kind of spans into the sovereign citizen thing too, where it's like they believe that the system is corrupt, but then they want to find ways to fight the system within it, right? So that they're looking for laws that they can use and tricks in the legal system to fight the legal system. But it's like in their philosophy, they think the system's corrupt and fucked. So why would you even do that? Why are you trying to fight the system that you think is illegitimate?
I think it's fear.
People, it's like they know that the government is corrupt and they're watching them and there's surveillance and all this, but then they're using the platforms that are most easily surveilled. It doesn't make any sense.
Because they're not there's again early on, there's like a phase where you kind of become aware in an abstract sense, but your real life doesn't yet match what's in your head. It's like hasn't quite filtered down yet, and it's like, all these things, but you're still buying all this crap. You're still watching this garbage on TV. Like you're still living the exact same way as you did before. And it's like a delayed reaction before you start to appreciate that this is real. And it's not just entertainment on the internet. And there's things that demand your attention and your responsibility to do something right, or it eats away at you. I think they're still in this kind of drunk phase where like it's not real yet, and they're trying to, and at least this is why you kind of think, oh no, because it's this or that. You're rationalizing and reasoning with you're trying to like grasp at straws for reasons why, invent excuses, because otherwise that means there's going to be lots of hard work and scary times ahead. And it's
I understand what you're saying, and I do agree with it. If you're somebody who has a brain. And I'm not trying to be an asshole to these people, but I just don't think that they are even capable of thinking of it in the way.
No, I think it's subconscious. I don't think they're thinking about it. I think they just subconsciously know on some level that if they commit to like, because there's like, I had like physical reactions to certain things that when I saw them and learned about them. Like like my heart rate went up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's real. So I think they know on some level that there's a danger zone, and they're afraid to go there because they know that once they go there, it's real now. And there's an instinct to like not go there because it's too scary. And I think that might be why. But they're new, right? And they just found out it even exists. The no-no space, the back room at the video store. They've just discovered it's even there. They're going to take a little while to work up the courage of the peak, maybe.
I think that's definitely true, but I also think that there's some people that just like they understand a lot of what's going on only on the surface level, and so maybe because of the internet and meme sharing and whatnot, they've been able to get pushed into a certain echo chamber where they're getting some more conspiratorial kind of ideas, or maybe getting red pilled on some issues. But I just think that ultimately some of these people are always going to be follower types, and the people that you see like Puck Daddy and a lot of these guys at these events that are just cringe lords, I don't think that they'll ever really be capable of being a proper leader. And I don't think that there's any, sort of path they have to go through of, denial and all of those stages of whatever this is. Like, I totally understand what you're saying. And I went through that too. It's like, you have to get away from it for a bit, because it is a lot, when you start understanding what's going on in the world and how fucked everything is. But I do think that some of these people are just not capable of getting through that. I think that they're going to get stuck at where they're at.
And I think that's the other thing with these people that are pretending. They're not really real about any of this stuff, because they know. Like, they don't have the ability to do it. Like, not everybody's cut out to do these kinds. Not everybody can be an astronaut, we used to say in the Army, right? Like, we had standards, and there's only certain people got promoted, only certain guys went to certain units, and only, you know what I mean? It was discriminatory, but it was serious work. It had to be that way. Your feelings came second. Like, I'm sorry you wanted that job, but you're just not good enough to do it. That's simple as that. You didn't meet the standard, so you're not in. The end.
They have a complete lack of hierarchy here.
Yeah, well, I mean,
and as you could see, you just have Jane Sharf in her pajama pants, just bombarding herself to the front of the Facebook Live, and that's how it goes.
Yeah, and I think some people just don't. Yeah, they're just not meant for that. Like, this isn't your this isn't you. This isn't what you're doing. This isn't what you should be doing. It's not working for you. Like, I don't know if it's narcissism or if it's just some kind of game they're playing or whatever, but yeah, there's a lot of those. I think they'll eventually they'll get bored eventually, because, it's like a flash in the pan kind of thing. Once you become like, you're on the board at all and anybody knows who you are, you're starting to build a resume. And if you start making really stupid fucking calls that make other people look dumb or get them in trouble or get them hurt or whatever, that's a bad score. That's going to do badly on your report card for that season. And then it's like, you're going to need another couple of years of doing really good work to erase the stain of that idiotic fucking thing you did before. And if you just keep stacking L after L after, I mean, you're burned then. Everyone's just like, you're a crackpot. You gave me fake legal advice and my fucking brother went to jail. This guy stole money. This guy's selling hockey cards of himself. Like, that, people don't forget these things. So, like, they're done now. Like, they've already, whatever they were going to do, they did it. And this was just, they don't want to go home, man. It's like a drug addict chasing a high, and they're just like, I want to keep partying. Like, no, it's over, man. The convoy's not coming back. Like, that all is done. Okay.
So I guess that begs the question, because they always look at us criticizing and they'll be like, okay, so then what do? You want to criticize everything. What would you do? And of course, for one, you need to have some kind of hierarchy in place so that it's not just complete chaos and mayhem going on.
Well, I mean, you don't need to do that. I mean, culturally, that will happen on its own.
Right.
There's like it's like a shaving the ice cube phase. Like, they call it in the Army, like you'd start with like 100 guys and you only need 30. So you just start beating them up, and testing them and trying to find the weak ones and weed them out. And you just get it down to like, the one, and that's just the process. And that's kind of what happened after the convoy, because nobody knows. A lot of people don't know who's who, and they're just finding out now kind of what's going on, and, assessing for themselves who's reliable, who's trustworthy, who isn't, who's ridiculous. And as this goes on, like those paths will diverge, and the crazy people will get further and further into crazy town. I mean, Queen Romana had how many followers? How is she doing now? You know what I mean? She's fucking begging for hot dogs outside a gas station somewhere in Saskatchewan, broken down in some 94 RV with a couple of weird, sex slave sycophant weird, you know what I mean? It's like, she's not going to be able to make a comeback. She's not going to be like, now we're doing something else. Like, no, you're not. No one's ever going to listen to you again. You're done. You had your fun. It's all over, for the love of God. So it's like, again, it's like musical chairs now. Now there's less chairs to sit in. And now the competition gets tighter. And now it's going to start getting a little more interesting about, stuff like that. So I think it'll just, most people, after a while, the process will kind of sort itself out, and it'll just,
the truth reigns supreme in a way.
It'll be kind of self-evident, like who the people are that,
Quite often throughout history, the truth rises to the surface eventually. And with this COVID stuff, there was a need for people to fight back, because so many people immediately saw the tyranny that was coming upon them, and it just had a huge vacuum of people that need to fight back. And all these people with different motivations, some of them better than others, they all just flooded to fill in this this space.
Well,
and it was a massive awakening, but now we're going to be starting to filter out who are the people who are of quality and have leadership skills, and who is going to be useful going forward now that they realize that there is a problem here. Right?
Yeah, and without cutting them up the way that I did the other night, but that was just fun. That's just more fun. But like Ron Clark, for example, why is this guy a terrible leader? Here's why. He's monetizing the experience. He's trying to create a character for himself in some kind of alternate world where he's this freedom fighter icon, and he's selling hockey cards of himself at $200 a pack. And other, like, for what purpose?
That's real. $200 a pack.
That's what I was told. And these people are asking constantly for donations for this and that. They're chain smoking. They're just driving around. I've been to some of these little fucking things they do. They post up somewhere in a field and they just get shit faced. And they're all doing drugs and fucking each other and freedom. Then they go to a different town, and it's just been like this for years. It's like a traveling carnival. And it's like,
it is like a carnival. They're like parties.
It's exactly what it is. The carnival's coming to town. Yay. And it's like some people are playing music. Half of it's not bad. Half of it's horrible. There's some 14-year-old that's drunk. You're like, what the fuck? I imagine. I didn't see any drunk 14-year-olds, but there were kids around, and it just, I don't know. Just guys like that. Like they're chasing rewards is what I mean. Hey, give me money. They're looking for money. They're not looking to fight. They're not picking fights with powerful people and then suffering personal consequences as a result of it and sticking their chin up and coming back for more. They're going, hey, give me money for my hockey cards that I made of myself. Hey, I need money to go party in this town so I can be drunk. And hey, I'm out of cigarettes. Hey, have you seen my other shoe? Come on, guys.
Why do they all smoke cigarettes? Like, they all smoke cigarettes.
I know. It's just, look at this. Like, you look like Woodstock or something.
It literally is Trailer Park Boys. Like,
it is. It's better than a Trailer Park. I posted on Twitter. I was like, this spinoff of Trailer Park Boys is amazing. I'm really into it.
If they were making Trailer Park Boys today, this is exactly what they would be dressed up like. Like, this is
yes. That I told Americans, they're like laughing, like, "Oh man, Trailer Park Boys," and I'm like, that's only like a 20% exaggeration, guys. This is Canada right now. Yeah, that's. I know some of these people. Yeah, they're fucking everywhere. There's not a couple of them. There's millions of people like this running around, beating up Subarus.
I didn't believe it beforehand. I did not know that these people existed.
Oh yeah,
COVID really brought them to the surface. And I said it on I think it was my last stream. This Norbin Traversy guy, he kind of like hijacked this 2020 like Canada Day freedom kind of thing, and he tried to direct everybody to go towards like the Canada, U.S., Mexico embassy, with a paper that had all of Justin Trudeau's crimes in it.
Yeah, he had the documents. Yep, he did. And people gave him, I think, $500,000 in a GoFundMe that he needed for some reason to deliver the documents. Bought him a new house. Anyway, who knows? Don't know wherever that guy went, but he got a lot of money out of it. Yeah, that started to happen. And I started to notice, okay, there's obviously, and that's the really fucking sick part. That's why I'm not like, if I pick fights with these people, like some of these characters, it's not their audience I'm attacking. I'm actually trying to save those people from these monsters, because they're sucking up money and resources from people that believe that someone's trying to help them because they're scared and they're hoping that something positive is going to come from them supporting these people. And these people have absolutely no fucking idea what they're doing and intend to do absolutely not. They're just there they're having fun. You're having fun. You're having fun on the backs of scared, hurt, desperate people. So in amongst these crowds and stuff, you're seeing like some of the ones that do show up, there's some people that like, they might be very reasonable, normal people that have no access to, they don't know what the fuck is going on. And this is all they got. And it's like, these circus freaks are dragging them around and on this crusade to nowhere. And they ought to know better. They're grown men. You're a fucking grown up, aren't you? What are you, 50 years old? What are you, fucking Che Guevara all of a sudden? Since when? How many fucking movies did you watch this year, dude? Oh, you got hockey cards now. Like, you're existent. What you're doing is offensive to me on a very personal level. And I don't like seeing all these people be taken advantage of by like, you want to know grifting? That's a fucking grift. I knew damn well what I was doing was probably going to put me in jail and ruin my life and do all these things. I did it anyway. I didn't get in here going, oh, geez, I bet I could make a lot of money if I go to that thing at Sudbury and fucking sell fake spirit healing fucking lessons and talk about how the fucking, it made me quit drinking while I have a fucking beer in my hand as I say it. It's just, there's no shame, like how can you do that? How can you do that and go up there and take these people's money and tell them all this crazy shit when you got to know damn well you have no fucking clue. You're not capable. That's the difference. I'm not going to go up there and be like, all right, guys, I got a big fucking plan. We're going to fix everything. Just follow me and give me money. Holy shit. Who the fuck do you think you are? You're either insane. You're either clinically insane or you're, incredible. You're so dumb. You might as well be critically insane. And if you're not mentally, compromised, you're just such a piece of shit to know that this is nonsense. And you're just like, whatever, it's something to do. And I can take money and party and maybe I'll get laid. I'll do acid with some guy that looks like Willie Nelson in a cabin, freedoming. That's me freedoming. Yeah. Anyway, that's my rant.
There you have it.
I got to the end of the thread. Sorry, boys. I just start going and I just wait until the gaslight comes on. And then it's like the voices in my head have stopped. Okay, good. We're done.
Well, there you had it. You said it very clearly. And there's definitely like multiple different personality types of these people who are leading this kind of thing. Like, I think that narcissism is on the forefront of people who think that they're better than everyone and they can lead that. Like narcissism, other mental illnesses, I think it's probably a small minority of them who actually are just like psychopathic grifters that know that they're just leading everybody into nothing.
That's BJ Dichter.
Yes. Yeah, he's one of those. He knows what he's doing. He's not stupid. He's just a shitty person. But I think they don't want to give up this little tiny, like they have influence over people, right? And I think they're hooked on it. I don't think they want to let it go.
Yeah, I honestly think like Puck Daddy, when he gets 250 likes on one of his shitty videos on Instagram, I think that he's getting like that dopamine hit. I think
like this woman here, I don't care for at all. Like Andy Lee, would she just delete her Twitter account or something? Somebody messaged me. He's like, "What'd you do to Andy Lee now?" I'm like, "Why?" It's like, "Oh, she deleted her fucking." Like, I don't care. But she was like, well, dogpiling me and saying all kinds of nonsense. So I fucking basically digitally flipped her off, and Morgan was defending me, and she's like, basically called her a nobody. Like, okay, what are you talking about? She's my girlfriend. We're just people with opinion like anybody else. What do you mean nobody? Where do you think you are all of a sudden? Who the fuck do you think you are? Oh, that's what this is about. You feel important and you're chasing the feeling of being more important. So you're just like them. You're a piece of shit. Got it. Marked. Moving on. There's a lot of that too.
Yeah,
they
man,
just
I was
love
really
themselves.
big in the convoy.
They'll talk about how many views. I had this other fucking loser here. Some guy in Nova Scotia thinks he's going to be fucking president. I'm like, yeah, cool, man. And he's like, I had fucking 20,000 views on this video. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. How many times do you ever hear me talk about that? How many do you have? I don't know, man. Probably fucking 15 million downloads, actually. Actually, I had one channel that had 3 or 4 million before they cut it. Like, I don't give a shit. Sometimes I'll flex to like make antithesis or whatever. But it's like, that's where you go when you're under pressure. You're like, but I'm getting views. Like, that's not a. Have you helped anybody? Have you helped any? Where are your friends? That's the difference. Like, if I wanted to really flex my power level, I wouldn't be like, here's how much money I made. Here's how many views I got here. Be like, see all these fucking awesome people we have around here? What do you got? Who do you bring? Oh, you got a fucking dog you brought from home? Neat. Saxon, kill that dog. Like, we have the coolest crew of people in the country, I think, hands down. And everybody's mad. It's like they're haters. They hate us because they ain't us. That's it.
Well, everybody just comes in and volunteers and wants to be a part of this.
Right. Everyone
And
that is here
Yeah.
because we're just all naturally like we all get along. We all get along. We're all friends. It's all a good time. It's like just hanging out with your friends all the time.
Each
it's
person
awesome, and we
brings
have a
their
good
own
time.
creative spin, man. So
Yep.
Look,
and no one else is doing that. No one else has anything like that. I mean, the next closest thing there is was whatever that was that happened in Ontario. Grand Theft Auto or fucking what was the one with the ice cream truck that tried to kill everybody? Video game.
What? What is this?
It was a video game. They just made a movie of it. So I saw a commercial and it reminded me of it. There was a clown that drove it and ran people over. Twisted Metal. Yeah. Never mind. I had to explain it too long. They're fucking reenacting Twisted Metal in a parking lot somewhere. I used to arm
okay,
rider.
I get it. Yeah.
The front end was ripped right off of that car too. What's the story there? Oh, is there anybody missing? Like, did someone get run over? Should we be looking for anybody?
What, on that car in that video? The front is ripped
Yeah,
off of the car?
whole front end, the whole bumper's gone, like ripped off. I was talking about it. I was like, it looks like a Tyrannosaurus. It looked like one of the Jeeps left over from Jurassic Park. Remember that scene where the T-Rex gets loose and just mangles his Jeep? That's what it looked like.
Well, there's so many little things that you could pick apart and point out in that video. Whether it's just like this guy has a clip that looks like he's about to grapple up a building
His
or something.
carabiner, yeah.
Yeah. Or
He's high
just
speed.
like...
He's ready to go. He's fucking ready to enact the plan. He's got his beaner. He's going to fucking rappel off the CN Tower. I was so mad I didn't see the guy who was like, get the fuck out of here, you bitch. His shirt says, like, love is the answer.
Oh, man. Like, yeah, the French are crazy. I want to see more crazy French like BoomerWaffen
Like
that,
that's
right?
virtue signaling, guy. I hate that shit. Where they're like, God bless you, God bless you, God bless. You're trying to be morally superior and virtue signal. That's the exact same energy that they do. It's gross. Don't fucking do that. Love is the answer. What are you, a hippie? You're clearly not. You're selling some woman to get the fuck out of here, you bitch. Like, you're full of shit, dude. Don't do things that make you full of shit. That annoys me. He knew when he put that fucking shirt on. He's probably, I mean, I might punch somebody today. You know what I mean? Could you, if you guys saw me wearing that, it would obviously be ironic. You know what I mean? I'm not actually going to legitimately like, no, this is what I believe, man. It's all about love and it's all about togetherness and coming together and fucking, you know, and fucking, fuck you, motherfucker, I'll kill you. Do that off the handle. It's just an image he wants. They want this, oh, I want people to believe this is me. So more bullshit. You know, how many of you people are full of shit? All of you, I think. I think all of you. Another reason why I'm not impressed and why I feel bad for the people that follow them there and are listening to them thinking they know what the fuck they're talking about because they don't. If you want to know what people are talking about that makes sense, you should listen to us because we have a track record. We're like fucking 9-0 right now. We're the fucking hottest team in baseball.
So true. Like, who has like pushed the Conservative Party in order to like address all these issues and like
and
put
dress
them
him.
into Yeah,
we dress him now.
We dress him? We dress people?
We decided that we don't like the glasses. We're going to mock him until he takes the glasses off, which he did.
Ah, yes.
Now we're like, maybe let's get him to put the glasses back on. He clearly can't see. We've laid off him for a while. We've been attacking other things. I think the conservatives are thankful that the offensives, the bombings have ceased for now. The skies appear clear.
We'll let him pop his head back out of the hole and then let him try some new things. And then we'll critique that, and hopefully, as it comes into the next election, you know, we can undress him again, metaphorically.
I'm trying to get him
course.
to put his
right.
pronouns in his bio. That's interesting. That's funny. That's not in there. That's doable. You probably could push him to do that.
Well, that's up to the provinces, as you know.
Oh,
that's good one.
Well, yeah, they always push the buck off on each other.
Why are you disrespecting the LG? Well, that's up to the provinces, and they have jurisdiction over what wherever I am at any time.
Yeah, the federal government has no involvement in provincial matters, and nor do we have any want to.
Yeah, we just update his Twitter bio depending on what province he's in all the time. We do he, him, and PEI, but we don't do it in New Brunswick. In Newfoundland, it's G0J. And in Alberta, well, I just pretend to be from Alberta. I'm really just a socialite.
The entire province of Alberta could be on fire, and Pierre would be like, well, you know, actually, that's a provincial matter, and that's provincial jurisdiction.
So the Chinese have landed. They've taken both Vancouver, and they're moving into... Well, that's a provincial matter. I mean, You can't. The federal government has no jurisdiction over invasions.
I mean, the one thing he can do is force provinces to get their housing, like their budget for making housing for more migrants up from like 1% to 2%, and he could try and force them to do that as his whole solution to solve the housing crisis. I don't know, something.
It's so
convoluted
crazy.
like that.
It's like being on a bender. It's like being on one of these nights where you just go, I'm fucking going ape shit tonight. You know, you get off work and it's like 6:14 and you're not even like, I remember these days. I just, without even knowing it, I'm a living stereotype. I mean, like coming in the door from work, I just throw my beret on the couch. I've done some of the buttons off my uniform and I'm already power drinking whiskey. I've been home for like 6 minutes, you know what I mean? And it's like, this is going to be one of those Fridays. And then by the time it's Saturday afternoon, you're like, what the fuck even happened? It just, we haven't even had time to be hungover yet. It's just one retarded thing after another. And it's at the point where there's like, yeah, all the hotels are filled with random fucking gangs from Africa. They're just killing people in the street. You want to get some tacos? What? What the fuck? When did this happen? Like, fast, man. It wasn't like this at all just like fucking 15 years ago. That's a short time.
Constant
it seems like a long time when you're young,
man.
but it's not that long. And it's unrecognizable. We live in a completely different place and it happens so fast and it's not slowing down. So it's like, I think it's good for morale. It like reconfirms that you should be concerned when you just kind of grab the handrail and stop for a second and go, just appreciate how far things have come in the last just 10 years. Remember 10 years ago? Remember 2013? I like to listen to music that was on the radio at the time sometimes, or watch some TV. I started watching the show the other night. I just always heard it was one of the best shows ever, like legitimately. And I just was one of those ones I never got into. I was like, oh, fuck it. Something I'll watch every once in a while at night before I go to bed. The Wire, you ever see this?
Yes, yeah, that was one of my first like favorite HBO shows.
Right,
that I watched.
I heard it was really good, so I'm like one episode into that. I'm like, I can see this could be good. And the first thing that struck me was like, oh my god, remember 2002? Like, there's nothing. It's very, remember The Sopranos? Like, you can go back and watch those shows, and it's like we're on a different planet now.
Imagine they try to make Sopranos woke. Like, they definitely introduced like all these new age concepts, like, oh, turns out one of your sons might be gay or something, right? They would introduce it, but if they try to do Sopranos now, it would probably just ram it down your throat as if it's the most acceptable thing possible, and it would never really get down to the humanity of these situations in the first place, like they actually do in The Sopranos. It's like a soap opera of life, but seen through the eyes of people who are in the mafia, right?
Which one is this?
The Sopranos.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you're describing the show. Yeah. No, it's a fucking fantastic show. I really liked it. There's a couple episodes that are a little weird and stupid, but overall, it was a very, very good, very, I watched it when it was on TV, and I was right into it, and then they finished it when I was overseas, so we had no idea what happened. We're all sitting there all pissed off, like, missing the fucking finale of The Sopranos, boys. And then I binged watched it later in like 2010, and then in like a fucking week, I think I watched the whole thing with a girlfriend. We were just like every day. We couldn't stop watching it. It was mental. That was that's another thing that never used to happen, was binge watching. Sorry?
Can I ask you a question about going overseas?
Yeah.
Like, how old were you when you were over there fighting?
20.
That's fucking crazy, man.
I had my 21st birthday in the Registan Desert.
And it was like the average age of people around there, like 20s, like your early 20s, like that, most of the soldiers?
Yeah, around in my privates and corporals, yeah, you're going to be 18 to 23, 22, and that's probably half the army.
That's fucking crazy.
Because
I'm not old or anything, but I'm 27 now and thinking about me when I was 20.
Dude, when I was 27, like this is what I was talking earlier about. Like, I was gonna mention this, how like a lot of these people, they don't want to give it up. Like, they don't want to give up that little sense of importance that they have. And it's like, again, I'm not speaking from a total ignorance. Like, it's weird when you go from, like there's a speech in Rambo that totally hits a lot of guys at the end, and it's like, he's all going off about shit. And he's like, I used to fucking, be in charge. I can't remember exactly what he said, but like in my case, it's like, I used to handle like $15 million in equipment. That was what I was responsible for. Personally, me. $15 million. This whole fucking massive war machine, this fucking light armored vehicle, the 25mm Bushmaster cannon is my responsibility, as are the other 9 men crew and infantry section in it. They're all my responsibility. All their weapons, all their night vision. I have to train them. I have to take care of them. I have to do their administration. I have to bail them out of jail if they go to jail. I have to do all this shit. I have to be like their dad, right? And teach them how to fucking kill people and all this kind of shit. And then you're like, or hey, have you considered maybe working at Staples? Maybe you could get a job at the gas station. Like, how the fuck do you go from that to that? That's hard to do. And when I was leaving, there was a guy, he killed himself like a week after he said this to me. He was at like one of these on the way out units, and he wasn't doing well. And I saw him there, and he was a sergeant at the time. So we were peers, and I was like, what do they got you doing? And he's like, one minute I'm all the stuff I said. He's like, I was an infantry section commander in a rifle battalion in the Canadian Army, and now I mow the lawn. People drive by and they honk at me and they laugh. I'm like, yeah. And he killed himself like 2 weeks later. So when you take a man's purpose away, it can be devastating. And these people have made this their purpose, and it's just the wrong call. And it's like, it's okay if you're interested, like this is something you want to be a part of, and but you need to learn a lot more about what's going on. Love the enthusiasm, right? Yeah. So we used to debrief guys. You'd give them, we'd call it the sandwich. You'd have to do something positive. Then you tell them how fucking horrible and terrible they were, but then you got to rebuild them at the end so they're not completely demoralized and give up on their career forever.
I think you raise a good point there, though, about the way that these folks are, is because, it's such a part of their identity that's why they get so defensive, right? When they're criticized. Like, I don't think Greg's video that he put out, the one that Puck Daddy was like responding to and everything, I don't think that Greg put that out with malicious intent towards any of the people on this side of things, because ultimately they share a lot of the same ideas that we have, and I'm not trying to beat up on them too much either, because there are really good people out there who are just following silly leaders. But I do think that, like you said, there has to be a certain amount of self-awareness and self-reflection, and maybe pull yourself out of the public spotlight on a lot of this stuff, calm down a little bit, learn a little bit more about how all these things work, maybe do some research on even the history of like what you're involved in right now. Maybe there are some people that are involved in your shit that are a little sketchy, and maybe you should find out about those kind of people. So
it's easy to get tunnel vision and get distracted and weird, and not look at the big. You got to always maintain sight of the big picture. It's very important. But I also there needs to be a degree of maturity and character that's been built. You have to earn that. You can't just, nobody's born with the ability to do and manage certain things, stress level, especially if you're in a position of influence like that, where people are like looking to you for answers, and you know what I mean? So there's pressure there. There's a lot there, and I don't think they deal with it well. And you have to be able to know when you've made a mistake. You need to be able to know that and acknowledge that and figure out how to not do that again. But that requires you being like, yeah, I'm retarded. I fucking fucked that up. They can't do it. They don't have the maturity to go, oh yeah. So what happened was I completely overestimated my position. I thought I had way more support than I did. I am clearly in an echo chamber. I definitely do not know nearly as much as I thought I did about what's going on here. And I'm going to have to just kind of go back to the drawing board here and try to, that would be the right, do you see any of those people doing that? Or are they just going to go, oh, it was feds, man, and there was infiltrators, and that's what, is that why it failed? Is that why nobody showed up? Because Jane Sharf and her mafia came? Is that what happened, man?
The Sharf Mafia, of course, yes.
Yeah, or the grown-up answer is, womp womp, you're the problem. Could that be it? That's the grown-up thing to do. Always assume it was you. You did it. It was something you did wrong. You should try to do. I try to do, but I'm an idiot too, right? But it's like always, did I fuck anything up, first of all? Before I go throwing things around at people, did I, is this my fault? Did I do this? Am I retarded? Did I lie? Did I cheat? Did I miss something? What did I do? What happened? And then you go, and then, okay. No, they just launch immediately into like, I don't think a lot of these people, they don't have the maturity there because they've lived sheltered lives. They act fucking hard and they're sharing lion memes and shit. I'm like, bro, you fucking grew up in Canada during the land of time and golden, the land of time. What did Cherry say? The time where it was the land of milk and honey. It was, you know.
Was that Don Cherry?
Yeah. He's like, they come here with a land of milk and honey, and they come here and take advantage of everything. And then that's why Don Cherry really got fired, because he was saying base things on TV to millions of people. That's the reason they got rid of him. He's offensive. Like, no, who says who? Everybody that watches him loves him. If you don't like it, don't listen to him. Oh, right. He's reminding people of things they should know. But, yeah, what the hell was I saying? Land of milk and honey.
The land of milk and the land of milk and honey. But you did say
right.
Terry. You did say Terry Fox, so it's like Terry Fox said that.
Did I? No.
Maybe Cherry Fox, or you know,
but
some hybrid of Canadian.
People
heroes,
just don't have an appreciation for like the levels of like hard, you know, where you have people at the top that are like, you know, one guy I was talking about the other night, like Smedley Butler, like human legend. Somebody like that, like Alexander the Great, Napoleon, like people that are just like, I'm going to literally bend time and space to my own will. I'm that powerful. That's how powerful the spirit of those people is. Like them, hate them, they're evil, whatever. And that's not my point. My point is, holy fuck, they're like a force of nature. Some of these people, right? And I can't remember where I was going with that either. I've been talking too long.
No, yeah,
got some super chats, I think, Dan.
Yeah, no worries. Island Jason over on Entropy said, Kira has a blanket raffle. Please support her. Not CSIS. So yeah, I did share that on Telegram, I believe, earlier. I think Rage, you shared it, Fairy shared it. So check that out on Telegram.
Yeah, some people were like, there's no way to even comment. I think she fixed it though, that they opened the chat thing for it. But yeah. No, yeah, go do that. She's a great lady.
She's selling raffle tickets for a roughly queen size, extremely plush crochet dag flag blanket.
Yeah, she's in hospital right now and recovering.
Yes, for risky surgery. All right, definitely.
Yeah, it kind of
is.
That. So she could use the support if you guys want to help, and that's that's the spirit of it, right? That's the difference. No one asked her. I love this too, right? This is what this is what I mean. The people around here are just the best. Did she come out and go, I need a GoFundMe, give me money? Like she could have, and no one would have had a problem with that, really. But it's like, I should at least provide I'll make something to give, you know, there's a trade. I'm contributing something, even sick in a hospital bed, all fucked up. I'll still, right? Rather than just take money for nothing. Like that's pretty base. That's pretty cool. You know, that's what I take away from that. Rather than
always
just like,
wanting
they could just
to
kick
give
up and go, give me money,
yeah.
give me money for things. You know, you guys are my piggy bank. No, like that's rare. That has not happened. Like that's a cool thing. That's not, you don't see people coming up with their hands out all the time trying to get money because those people are everywhere, but they don't seem to be very common around here, which is nice.
It's always a give and take. You know, you see something special about this community, and you want to contribute, and you want to share whatever your special talent is, right?
Yeah.
And get the community that comes involved with that. And I've been around here for almost 4 years now, and I couldn't have guessed that we would have all still been together, and this would have been so much of a prominent thing in my life. I couldn't have imagined that from the first time we ever made contact, but holy fuck, here we are. Yeah.
I want to dream.
I've been working all day.
Yeah.
Plaid Army.
Taking a ride
moved
on
up to
Philip's Magic
Diagolon. Forever we can be the next generation.
He's on a magic carpet. On a cloudy side, I'm in the night. In a place to go, that's right. Phil, no. He's doing coke. He's all coked out.
Oh no.
Just like some of those people in that parking lot.
Oh boy.
Jeez.
Maybe they should be drug tests to see who could be the leader of the BoomerWaffen, and
It's just crazy to me that
whoever's on the most drugs can be the leader, right?
Yeah, like we're gonna do this video to tell everybody the plan. Fucking, we've been drinking all day. Nobody's wearing shoes. Like, what? You're not even trying. Like, you can't look me in the eye and tell me, yeah, this is my best effort. I really try. I put my heart and soul into this.
I just
you
wish they all had,
did.
like,
Really?
They all had like Nova Scotia or Newfie accents or something though. Wouldn't have that just been great? Like, oh geez, boys.
There was some. They didn't even go.
They seem pretty close. That's what it sounded like.
The V4F clip that they put out there, and they put the whole thing like, oh, it's made up. It's out of context. It's like, it was an 8-minute clip, but okay, here's the whole 2 hours of them talking about all this crazy nonsense. And that guy didn't even go. He's the one talking the most shit. He doesn't even go himself. That's leadership 101. Always make other people do things that you're not willing to do yourself. That is how you become Napoleon. That's right out of George Patton's handbook. I'm going to hide in some bushes and make everybody else do everything.
Right. Were you guys talking about Patton earlier? I saw that in the chat. I'm not sure.
Oh, there's a guy in the chat named Patton.
Oh, okay.
I meant George Patton, the general, but yeah, maybe Odious Patton too.
Well, we have apperception.
He's an army guy. His last name is Patton, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, well, I know George Patton. That's what I was asking. Were you guys talking about that earlier while I was gone?
Think so. Did we?
Interesting character.
Yeah.
Well,
that's the other question. The Rome question, the RQ that's been going around. How often does your boyfriend think about the Roman Empire? And I'm like, oh, bitch. Ask him how many times he thinks about World War II. Then you're going to see some weird numbers come up, I betcha.
Yes, that's great.
Fucking every day, probably. It comes up at least once. Literally, I think it probably does come up every day.
Well, I'm going to catch up on the entropy super chats here. We have apperception saying, being unpredictable is dangerous. Bravo, team. Take the trench. Charlie, team. I don't know. Overwatch and just wing it. Well, you guys are not censored on Yandex and show all your social links, etc.
Who is this? Who's
Apperception? I don't know.
Apperception's an army guy too.
That was a massive schizo post, but I
understood it. Yeah, no, it was army talk.
Yeah. And then the rabbit says, in Diagolon, the trains will run on time.
High-speed hyperlink trains, like the fucking... Didn't they just get one in Florida? Like, when is the last time? Just things like... Why haven't we built anything in, like, 20 years?
Why did we go to the moon in 1969 and we still haven't gone back?
I mean, just in Canada in general. Like, just think about this. Everyone in Florida is like, holy shit, we got a new thing. They built a high-speed rail train, and everyone's like... And someone said, oh my God, Florida actually achieved something. Like, they're a state that actually did something. They made an improvement for one. Wow, look at that. Improved infrastructure. And I was like, yeah, we've never... When's the last time we built a new hospital or airport extension or made a new highway or fucking... Oh, everything's just falling apart. The shit we have doesn't even work. Never mind new stuff. We're fucking broke, man. This place is so... Like, the paint is starting to peel, you know? It's like that stage of a used car where it's like, oh, she's looking rough now, man.
They're not keeping up with the infrastructure, I guess.
No, they're not getting the oil changes done.
No. They're too busy, like, focusing on all their different money alchemy that they're doing, all their different economic tricks, bringing in more and more migrants just to compete with all of us.
But we need the real, and that's right. They're trying to suppress the real energy.
Yep. Well, where does vril come from? Like, where
I can't remember. It's some kind of esoteric concept from fucking Germany.
Is that from Rome? Or
I don't know. I know that the Nazis were right into it, and I don't know if they invented it or they made it popular or if it's older than that. I don't remember. I was more interested in like who won the war and how it happened and who was killing who and what, you know. The Wolfenstein Castle side quests I didn't spend too much time in. Just enough to know that Heinrich Himmler thought people could read his mind, and he had a castle that he thought he was a king of and reincarnated from another dimension. And he held telepathic meetings in the basement of said castle. So I was like, well, that's pretty fucking crazy.
Jeez.
That guy's completely out of his mind.
He was really about that occult stuff, though.
Oh,
they say, dude. Like, satanic Nazis and all this stuff.
This is the thing. These people are like, oh my God, Canada's all a bunch of Nazi experts all of a sudden. They know everything. They don't know fucking anything. Right. And they're like, they always talk about Hitler. And it's like, dude, the star of the show is Himmler. That guy is fucking next level out of his mind.
What happened to Himmler?
He ate a cyanide pill and killed himself rather than get caught. He tried to sell out Hitler at the end, toward the end, the last like a few months and try to cut a deal. But I think the smart guys already did, because there was a lot of guys that ended up in the United States at the end of the war. That doesn't happen by accident. I think somebody up there was like, I'm bailing me and my friends out of here and fuck these losers. I think that's what happened. And
is that Paperclip? Operation Paperclip?
I think so.
That you always hear Alex Jones rambling about. It's Operation Paperclip. I'm telling you, the ADL, they're Nazis. They're Nazis. They came from Operation Paperclip. And
it's just total. It's just opportunistic. They had fucking great tech. They had amazing scientists. They had some of the smartest people in the world. They're building amazing shit. And you're racing the Bolsheviks. It's like, fucking get them, dude. Like, don't kill them. Steal them for our team so we can beat these fucking psychos, right? That's what they did. So why wouldn't you? Obviously, right? Which is, some people. And that's the other thing. Like, oh, man, fucking Nazis, bro. I'm like, I see you're wearing a NASA shirt. You like NASA? I fucking love space, dude. It's my whole life. Right on. Did you know those rockets were built by Nazis? Werner von Braun used to hang the slowest Jews at his factory to motivate them to work faster. He developed your Apollo program. Did you know that? That's not true. It's true. Yes, it is. He was a crazy guy too. He had some crazy ideas. Interesting. He alluded to like alien technology and like crazy stuff. I don't know. Anyway. What the hell was I talking about? Himmler was pretty.
God damn, we went full Alex Jones there. Like,
yeah. Well,
I was throwing out the Operation Paperclip as just a way.
Well, von Braun was part of that. That's why they scooped up all these guys. I don't think the Soviets they got some, but I don't nearly as many, because the Germans were looking to not get murdered. So they were like, do you want to surrender to the fucking Soviets or the Americans? Everyone wants to go to a U.S. It's like, we'll go live in America. We'll go live in New York, whatever the fuck. Especially if you're somebody high up, you've got cloud influence, secrets, whatever. Like, you can trade that, right? And they know that. So they're like, I'm surviving. I'm not getting killed here. I'm fucking out. So they all did that. And then I think Himmler tried to sell him out towards the end, and it didn't work. They basically told him to fuck himself. And he was like, oh. Then he dressed up like an Air Force corporal, like just some nobody, and just tried to like sneak away and slink through the crowd, like as everybody was surrendering and stuff. And they caught him, and they're like, oh, Heinrich Himmler, the man himself. And he was like, cyanide pill. That was the end of that guy. And he was a chicken farmer who became one of the most powerful men in the Third Reich, who held telepathic meetings in the basement of his super castle. So, there were some characters. There was
the more you know.
Holy crap! Yeah,
well, I learned this was in a
heard
book.
Any of that shit?
Oh,
Holy
dude, he's the craziest one for sure. He was really into a lot of this occult, like all that crazy stuff. Like with all these crazy the Nazis' secret evil temple of death, all this crazy stuff. Like that was probably one of Himmler's side quests. He had people running over the world looking for like Shangri-La and like the entrance to the middle of the earth and stuff. And they're like, oh, well, it was Hitler's interest in all those things. And I'm like, was he, or was he just like letting his friend do whatever he wanted to do? I don't know. It's hard because Himmler was saying and doing crazy stuff. He seems really into this. I don't know. But anyway, there's a lot of crazy stuff that went on. It was a book called The Devil's Adjutant. And it was, fuck is his name now? Jochen Piper. He was a Waffen SS colonel. And he worked for Himmler directly a couple of times. And it was just, and he participated in some like mental fucking fights and stuff. So I was like, I'm going to read this book. And he said he was fucking his adjutant. And he's just sitting there and he's like, it was so funny. The fucking situations. It was such a real book of just like an accounting of just being in the army and the shenanigans and stupid fucking nonsense that goes on. I believed him. I was like, you don't think he made a lot of this up. And he's like, following him around and they're going to this meeting and he's like, probably with his accent, he's like, and here I am. I walk into the basement of the castle and I am expected to sit here and take notes of a meeting that is held entirely in silence amongst the highest ranking officers in the SS. So that makes me in charge of the SS because this is not real and someone must tell the soldiers something. So I have to make it up. And they'd all just be like, you got all that right? And all the other guys are like, because Himmler expected, like he believed this. The other fucking guys had to sit there across from Heinrich Himmler and just stare at each other and pretend they could, that really happened. That's fucking hilarious. Like every country has whack jobs and nutcases and you know what I mean? There's probably look at the president of the United States. If people could tell you what's actually going on in the White House, could you imagine if someone said, I was Biden's handler for 2 years? I'm just going to write a tell all. Who's not going to read that? It would be crazy. So this guy's like, hey, I was fucking rolling with Himmler for a while, and it was pretty wild. So I was like, I need to read this. It was crazy. The Devil's Adjutant. It was pretty good.
Holy
Interesting.
fuck. So
it was a really, really wild book. And he actually got murdered by Mossad when he was like 70. They tracked him down to this place in France where he was hiding out, and they fucking killed him, murdered him. He died. He literally died fighting Bolsheviks at like 70 years old. This guy was in a ton of crazy battles. He's a fucking character too, that guy. He was like one of their poster child because he was like a big tall guy, blonde hair, blue eye. They fucking put him on the posters and everything. And Hitler loved him and shit. So it was like it was an interesting account. Check it out. I'm just selling this book.
That's the author you're talking about? That
Jochen Piper is his name. He was the author. Now, I don't know if he wrote it all by hand or if someone helped him do it, but
why would they hunt him down, do you think?
Well, because
did he know too much?
He was a Waffen SS officer.
Oh, yeah.
Mossad was hunting everyone and killing everyone across the world.
First and foremost, right? Mm-hmm. Like they're even going after Hunka at this point, even though
they went after anybody.
Yeah,
anybody that they could find that they could reasonably say was maybe or probably. And Piper was like famous. He wasn't like another like he was a fairly well-known guy, so they would have loved to kill him. And anyway, they're like, oh well, he died in a house fire. We think maybe, but there was some gunshots. They found like empty shell casings on the property. Like somebody he seemed to have been woken in the night and got into some kind of gunfight with people outside, and they burned it. He died of like smoke inhalation or something. I don't know. That was the end of it, like as I recall. But he was like He was like fucking blowing up Russian tanks with grenade, like crazy. Just the way these guys talked about some of these experiences, like it was like, yep, this is what we had to do. This is what happened that day. You're just fucking, it's crazy. But then, we go through similar things. And for some reason, when it happens to you, it feels like because I survived and it could have been much worse, therefore it wasn't really that bad. So it's not a big deal. But when you read about things that happen to other people, you're like, your fucking head explodes. But they probably feel the same way. Like, yeah, it just, could have been a lot worse. I was lucky. You what? You rolled under a dead guy under a tank just to fucking fire a bomb in the thing? He's like, yeah, I fucking hated him. I wanted to kill him. Yeah, he had a bunch.
Well, I guess it gets them outside of their comfort zone. Each person has their own comfort zone, and in these times of fucking like craziness, like any world war, it just takes people way out of like the realm of anything that would be normal to us.
Yeah, and that's another
experience things like that, right?
Yeah, I'm just annoyed by the whole thing that people can judge everything so easily. Like they can read about something like it happened in a vacuum from 100 years ago or 200 years ago and just be like, oh my God, I can't believe. Like you were just foaming at the mouth wanting to lock people up in camps because they didn't get a needle, dude. I'd fucking pump the brakes. This is a time of the world when like cities are getting erased. And like these guys, like, can you imagine being some of these guys in the German military? And it's like, oh, I can't wait to go home when this is over. Oh, actually, everyone is dead. Your whole city's gone. Yeah. You're in Hamburg, right? Yeah, they're all dead there. Cool. What does that do to the psyche of these people on the battlefield? You know what I mean? And it's like, who made the monster? Whose fault is it? Really?
It's so true. And in many ways, it is kind of that, what is that proverb? Like, hard times create strong men and weak men create hard times. And obviously, I think we're in this weak men create hard times.
We're beginning to suffer because of the we're beginning. It's going to get worse. We're beginning to suffer because of the decadence and laziness of the past, 50 years.
And suicide rates are going up,
just like it always does.
Like the times, they're really like people do have their like needs met. People aren't going through famines in the West like they used to be going through. But however, people are still more miserable than ever, and I think a lot of it is that they don't have the sense of purpose to fight for anything. And like people have been so brainwashed throughout the last few decades, especially the communist infiltration like into the West, like as Yuri Bezmenov would say, the demoralization. People have been so demoralized. Like people are more depressed than ever, even though they have all their basic needs met. Like what is going on with that? People aren't starving in concentration camps right now, but it's mayhem still.
Well, it's because like they've reduced the entire human experience to just being a tax slave. Like that's all you're for. That's all. If you're a good boy and you do, I'm a normie. I just do all the things the government and society expects of me. your entire existence is to just generate goods and widget, you know, to be taxed, to pay, to buy things, to go back to your hole, and then rest, and then go back to it again. I read a book in jail. I got like halfway through it, and I was like, this is stupid. But there was an interesting concept. It was like some kind of dystopian. Who fucking wrote this? Oh, what's the guy's name? He used to have I think he ended up having a show. Glenn Beck?
Okay.
No,
yeah.
Might have been him. I can't remember. But anyway, it was like this futuristic kind of thing. And these people just like get up and they'd work at, they're basically slaves. And they just, they had like treadmills or something. And that was to generate electricity. And that's literally all you're good for. So that's all you do all day. You just
This
sit
sounds
there
like Brave New World, like Aldous Huxley type shit.
Yeah, it was
right?
like that. It wasn't that book though, but it was similar.
Right.
But that's what they did. And it's like, is that so different? There's people going to offices just punching numbers and slots and like just moving boxes. Like they're not really doing anything. They're not part of anything. It's not like, well, they don't even have the pride of saying, because like you said, not everybody can be the astronaut. Not everybody can be in charge. Not everybody's going to have, you know, prestigious, you know, but you need, you know, the workers. So what's in it for the workers? It's like, well, they're paid garbage. There are no benefits. They can expect to do this forever and retire with nothing. And the thing they're doing doesn't even fucking matter. You're just flipping burgers all day. You know, it's not like you're moving. Oh, man, I got to move these bricks every fucking day. But sometime, maybe when I'm dead or maybe before I'm dead, there's going to be this massive architectural masterpiece that has my hands that built it. And my children and ancestors can be proud of that. And and everybody that comes after can say, my dad built that or my grandfather helped build that. That means something to people. That gives them an identity and connects them to something. Like those old pictures of the guys standing up on the steel of the bridges of like the Brooklyn Bridge and shit when they're building that. That then becomes a part of your community. It's like, we built that. That's literally ours. I know the fucking guy that put the crane up there. You know what I mean? Where's that now? The best you can do is fucking go to the military and lie to yourself and say it's for some, you know, something. Otherwise, what are people doing? We're just fucking plodding along. We just gotta get more money so I can pay the government, so I can eat, so I can sleep, so I can go to work and make more money and pay the government so I can eat, so I can sleep. Maybe if you're lucky, you can fucking consume poison and garbage and trash and numb yourself out with drugs and pills and alcohol on the weekends while you watch teenagers chase a ball around for millions of dollars. Like, you know, it's fucking sad. I don't know. I'm like, it bothers me. I don't know why it doesn't bother more people.
I mean, yeah, I think that my life has improved vastly over like the last decade or so, just trying to find meaning. And, you know, I feel like some people, they think like, oh, I need to be an artist. And maybe that's not what they actually should be doing because they're not serious about it. But, you know, me going forward and like recognizing truths that I really care about and wanting to make art out of it, that has really given me more of a purpose. And, you know, it's not just like making a hamburger for somebody or building like another monotonous house that's involved in a neighborhood of infinite houses, a suburb, or you know, like the architecture of people who are like working by hand. That's not the same thing anymore. We don't have that anymore. The beauty is gone in life, and everything has been commercialized, and they try to substitute that for most people with all these social justice causes. Like, if you want to be, like, humane and you want to have humanity and purpose,
they all benefit
support
the
Black
slavers,
Lives
too.
Matter. Right, exactly.
These causes are also beneficial. They also serve to make them more money and power at the same time. Like, I've had family members that just have jobs. Like, they just, like, work in factories their whole life. And it's like, we need people to do that. But you need to treat them well. You need to take care of them and, you know, make them feel like it's not like pay them well, do something so that it's worth their time. So they don't fucking kill themselves. Because if it's just this slave grind, like you just get trapped. It's never going to get better. That's all you have to do is think about how much you don't have enough money. Like that's a hell, man. That's like a kind of hell, mental, emotional torture to live in. And that's now coming for a lot of people and people are in it right now. And they're, you know, I mean, how do you handle it? There's no good way. You know? There's better ways. I mean, but lots of people, they go, well, I'll just be drunk all the time. I know people doing that too. They're just giving up. They're getting buried in bills and stuff. And they have no plan. Their plan is and they're like skipping work. They're just like, I'm just going to just be drunk a lot and just not think about it. That's their plan. They're doing the Titanic. I'm just going to freeze in place and do nothing because it's too overwhelming.
I think that's always been a thing. Like,
yeah,
people like toiling away. What if it was earlier in the 19th century or 20th century, like the early 1900s? Maybe they're working away in a coal mine, or they're just slaving away at some factory job as industrialization progressed, right?
Yeah.
But at least they were able to create families out of that. So they've taken away just the ability to take away, like the ability to have your own family, to be able to afford that, to create a legacy for yourself, which, like, obviously that's what our biology pushes us to do. But we're told that that's wrong now. That's like gonna affect climate change or something. So we don't even have that anymore. We don't have the basic thing that makes us human, that is what pushes us forth, kind of like the logos, or like our purpose, the force that created us into this universe in the first place. We don't even have that anymore. We're encouraged to end our bloodlines and then just go into all this meaningless, like, dopamine hits, dopamine cycles that they place everywhere, whether it's video games, sports ball, all this stuff that leads into meaningless traps, right?
Yeah, we're like a fallen people, you know.
So,
and that's and like everybody has that's what something else Devin told me once, and that's something other guy. It's just comes to be known, I guess, a certain plot. Everybody has a piece or a role to play. Everybody's got a spot somewhere. You know, not everybody can be an astronaut, but everybody has different uses and different utilities and different things that they're good at, they're not good at, or they're for, they're not for. Like, I couldn't do those things. I literally can't work in a factory all day, every day and do these things. We need people to do that. I fucking can't do it. I'll go crazy. Like, I don't have the discipline or the mental focus. I couldn't handle it. I would go nuts and freak out and probably become a drug addict. You know what I mean? I just couldn't do it. But there's other people that can and are fine with it, and they're happy, and they're just, I'm easy to do it. Well, that's good. But like, those people also can't do this though. So I feel responsible to do this for them because they do that for me. That's how it's supposed to work.
Yep. It's kind of like the myth of equality. Not everybody is the same. Not everybody has the same capabilities, right? There are going to be people who progress in some things, who are smarter, and maybe they're going to take on bigger jobs. Maybe they should make more money. All these different things that cultural Marxism completely erases, right? But I think it's a noble thing for each and every person to find something that's noble, or something that makes life worthwhile, something that makes life worth living to themselves.
Well, they say,
right?
Yeah, well, they say it's, helping people is what does it for them, and they like to do things for people. It makes them satisfied and stuff. And it's like, that's, you're in the ballpark, but it's like when you have a tribe or a people or like a team, like your family, like extended family, a community, like that's what a nation is supposed to be. Like, this is us. We're all on the same, the Diagolon community is more of a fucking country, it feels like, now than Canada is. I mean, everybody gets along here better than they do out there. And when you have like a people that you kind of answer, like, we're all doing stuff for each other, that's satisfying, that's fulfilling, and that makes you feel good that you're helping people that you care about and that care about you. And that gives your life meaning and purpose, instead of just mindlessly slinging boxes around or you know what I mean? What the fuck is that? Like that, right? So anyway,
it's a difficult concept to grasp, but yeah, it's so true. Lee in
Once
the
you
chat,
find it though,
Lee in the chat is saying, find God. The root of it is godlessness. So what do you think about that? Like, on one hand, it is like a very theological and metaphysical concept. It's just like, at the end of the day, though, I agree with her. You need to find that. God, to me, means like the force of life and pushing forward in a positive way into the future for myself and everyone around us, and like giving some penance to the creator himself. Now, I find struggles trying to believe like an actual metaphysical God sometimes, and exactly how it all plays out, I'm not certain. And I can't really say that I firmly believe anything, right? But I want to go towards that direction, and I do want to find God.
Have you ever tried DMT?
Yes.
Okay. So you're aware.
Where are you going with this?
There are other things going on. I mean, that's just all you can say. You've either never tried it or you have, and everyone that has is
difficult conversation now, but let's go.
Yeah, and it's like well, I mean, in the sense that there is definitely, this is, some people do this, they do like mega doses of mushrooms or something. You can get a similar kind of interesting insight maybe, but yeah, it's like it's a whole other sensory experience that you can't even really describe. You basically don't have a body and you're somewhere else, and that's about as clearly as I can make it sound. You're not in your body. You don't know where you are, but you're not there. But you can still kind of hear. It's really fucked up. It's like being in the Matrix code or something. It's very insane and strange. But then you're like, everybody reports a lot of the similar things. It's all a very, kind of across the board experience to a lot of people. So it suggests like there's a uniformity among it. It's not like a hallucination. The more of it is like an effect of something. But anyway.
You're speaking my language right now.
The concept that, that there is other, like we only see, I think, 2% of all visible light. The human eye.
The dark matter thing. I think it might be like 90% of the universe is actually dark matter that we can't interact with. So it's
who knows
coexisting among us.
Yeah, is
but
there
we have no
energy
idea
in that? Is there intelligences involved in that? What the fuck? Absolutely, there could be. Like I'm waving my hand through both radiation, microwaves, frequency, all right now. The internet is passing in and out. I don't see it, but it's there. It exists. We can measure it. We can prove it. We wouldn't be able to. If I explained all of this to somebody in the 1980s, they would have absolutely no idea what the fuck I was talking about. They would not be able to prove it at all, and they'd be taking it entirely on faith. It's not less real. It's just Wi-Fi. You just don't know how it works. That doesn't mean it's not there. But yeah, as far as the whole, I've never really been an atheist, I don't think, but there was a period where I was kind of like, I don't know. I mean, you could go either way with it. But there's just too many things. I'm too sensitive to too many strange things to deny that. It just
I couldn't be an atheist. I do not believe that there's nothing out there. There's not a higher power.
No,
but,
there definitely is.
Yeah, there definitely is.
There does seem to be a sense of kind of perverse or ironic justice in the universe. And I always had this kind of concept in my head where I was like, the first time I heard the simulation theory, I was like, that's it. That's probably what this is, in a sense, where like your brain is completely encapsulated in the dark forever since you've been conceived until you're dead. Like it's in the dark. How do you know how does your eyes know how to interpret light fractals? And they come in upside down, by the way, and then get fucking wired into your brain, which is entirely in the dark. It's so your brain's relying entirely on external inputs, like a computer does. Plug something in, and it's like, oh, I guess that's what my eyes saw. You could literally just be a brain in a jar somewhere hooked up to a computer, and this whole fucking thing is just inputs. Like, if someone could have developed that technology, that's absolutely possible. So interesting. And now you think, when you think back when I was a kid, one of the first things you think is like, well, if there's a God and he likes us, why does he let terrible things happen? And then it's like, well, what if they don't matter? What if like everyone dies? This is all a simulate. This is all a test. This whole thing is just one big giant shit. It's a filtering process to find out who's a piece of shit and where are the good nuggets. That's all it is. And you die, you don't die. Like we'll just put you back in. We'll throw you back in again. Doesn't matter. It's ultimately, in the grand scheme of what this is, meaningless. It's like, so you just die and you wake up and there's a guy there with a clipboard and he's like, well, you were doing okay. And then you got into the hookers and cocaine and it was all downhill from there. So we're going to give you, you failed horribly. So we're going to wipe you and put you back in, who knows? That easy, like that doesn't negate the existence of God like that. No, that's what it is. This has all been created to test you and your soul and your spirit, to find out what you got, what you're made of. And we're just going to keep making you do this until you figure it out, or I get bored.
It almost seems like you're marrying like the simulation theory with the idea that like God is trying to see who's going to come into the kingdom of heaven, right?
That's who created the simulation, right? And that's the purpose of the simulation.
Right? He offers us free will as life forms.
Exactly.
And then we use that free will to make the right decisions so that we can enter the kingdom of God. So that kind of coincides with this whole simulation theory too.
And all of these things that can happen, like it's all very true. Like all these kinds of temptations and like bad, the traditional, like, hey, you start going down that path, your life will go to shit. It will go bad, sooner or later. Maybe not right away, but there's a cost to everything.
Right.
And and it can go either way. And it's like, and you start living the other way. It's like, let's start not doing that. Let's start, denying these things and using my willpower, like, because you have it, right? Animals don't, they just do whatever. They do whatever they want. So you live like an animal. Okay. You want to be a fucking animal, be an animal then. You're a man. You're a human. You have a ability to think and reason and have these emotions and feelings, and then go, and then you can choose and decide how you're going to react to it. Like a fucking dog doesn't do that. These things aren't doing that. So it's almost like, I sometimes think, like, why do we have that? Where did that come from? That's just, it's evolution. I'm like, sure. There's also things like a massive amount of the human genetic code has clearly been altered. Like geneticists have said this. They're like, yeah, it seems as though there's been edits made at some stage. One of them that, for some reason that they can't quite explain, we only live to be like whatever it is, 98 years old or something. Like there's a maximum amount of time because your cells divide so fast or whatever. But this guy's theory was like that this seems to have been changed, and I can't figure out why people don't live to be 700, 800, 1,000 years old. And then I'm like, I read that in the Bible. So somebody got mad and was like, you fucking, that's it. You're only living to be 100 now, you pieces of shit. So again, I'm like, there's weird crossovers. I just notice, in through your life, that you remember certain things, or you'll pick up a piece of knowledge somewhere and go, wait a minute, go back earlier in the movie. What did that guy say? And you start to kind of see things, and other things like the sun and the moon and the earth are all directly mathematically to a perfection level of engineering that if anything was even slightly off, none of this would work. Everything would be all fucked up. It creates a perfect calendar and a clock and timekeeper on its own. If the moon is 8 times the size of the sun, but the sun is 8 times further away, like, I don't know. And then there's the flat Earth people that'll be all mad about that. But the point is, this is a very complicated and intricate system that seems to have been invented on purpose. Like, there is way too many design features in this that makes me go, oh, this is accidentally, I'll just fell out of somebody's ass someday. And if you notice how there's nothing else anywhere, like all of that, it's all just 3D rendering. Like that's the edge of the map. Outside the Earth's atmosphere, it's like, no, this is the end of the simulation. There's nothing else. It's just lights. It's just lights I made. You can't go there. It's like the edge of the map on Grand Theft Auto. That's why the radiation belt's out there. I'm going to leave the map. That's the end of the map. You've gone too far. Like Call of Duty. You have 30 seconds to return or you're dead.
Yeah.
End of simulation. You've been terminated for trying to escape. Get back in. No. And that's why they say you're not allowed to commit suicide. Oh, nice try. Nope. No, you don't. You're not allowed to do that. Start over. And then you get reincarnated. And then you end up as a Pakistani guy who can't stop shitting in the street. And you're like, I fucking should have did better with that first role. I didn't do very well.
No.
I want to go back to America.
The karmic wheel. No, it can be brutal,
I don't know.
That's why you got to do right.
I kind of hope. I don't.
You're
I
talking about intelligent design.
No, I don't. Yeah, I believe that. I believe
intelligent design. Like, yes. This is all put here for a purpose. It all fits and works so complexly, but so perfectly at the same time, right?
Yep.
And when you talk about like things that we can't see beyond our scope, right? Like the rest of the universe. It kind of makes me think of like quantum mechanics and how like things change upon our perceptions of them.
That is one of the craziest fucking things I've ever read, and that keeps me up at night. So what you're talking about and what the chat probably doesn't know, there is a way they've managed to detect, there's a name for this, I can't remember what it is, but matter itself will change if someone is observing it. In other words, the atoms and inside anything know when people are observing them, and they can test this. They've had like cameras and shit set up and some way to measure it, but it's like when I look in the microscope and it's different. When no one's looking at it, it's not. What the fuck is that? What the fuck? So like is this the simulation, like rendering shit as it's being used, like the computer works? Because in video games and computer world, things are it's kept on the RAM. It's called random access memory. So it's like the kind of on the shelf, not long-term memory. It's like short terms. Like we might need this in the next 10 or 20 minutes, so just kind of keep it handy, but we're not going to load the whole thing. It's just there to save time. So you can kind of see it, but not until you get closer are we going to fill it in. So it's just, it uses your that part of your memory for that. And it's like, that's almost the same kind of method where it's like to save energy and power. It's like, I'm not going to render Antarctica. There's nobody even there. You know, like entire parts of the world may not even exist because no one's looking at them. So the old thing is like, if a tree falls in the forest and no one's around to hear it, does it make it sound? I guess it doesn't. I guess nothing happens in the forest unless no one's around. Because apparently, if nothing is observing or interacting with matter, it just sits still and waits for someone to show up. That's fucking really crazy, dude.
Like, what is going on there?
Talk about that.
Is there like some god element within us, aka a soul, that is, you know, exacting some sort of influence on our surroundings as soon as we come into contact with it? Is that maybe where free will lies upon?
Yeah.
Or
Another
like, is
one-
it like electronic impulses, like in our brains, working with things all around us, like the electromagnetic field? That's a whole like undiscovered science. I definitely believe in the greater science, and I want to have faith that God lies somewhere beyond that spectrum there, right?
Well, every time we invent something and think it's better than, like, oh, this is even better than the way nature intended, you're like, nope, it's worse. Every time. We always lose. Eventually, you're like, no. Like, I use these barefoot shoes to run in. I've used them for years, and it's like, oh, it turns out your fucking basic mechanics of your own bones in your feet are far superior than a fucking running shoe. Like, oh, really? Well, who would have thought that? And they're just basically gloves for your feet, so the friction, you don't get blisters and cut the fucking shit out of your feet. But the Afghans and shit we were fighting, they were bare feet. They were running over rocks and shit. They're used to it. Their feet are all tough.
They're
Like horses.
grounding. They're grounding.
All the time.
There's literally like electromagnetic like pulses going from the earth into people that like changes your physiognomy if you go barefoot. I think it's like 40-50 minutes. Somebody told me this and I was like, that's full of shit. And then I looked it up and it's like, no, this is scientifically proven. I'm like, why are more people not talking about this? This is crazy.
I didn't know it was proven. Another one that was crazy is that when you think a thought, you generate something in real life just by thinking it. They've been able to detect like when people are thinking, and it's like it's generating some kind of electromagnetic response that's detectable outside your head. That shouldn't be. So that makes me wonder, like, a lot of this magical fucking bullshit, you know, these Illuminati cult people, like all the crazy schizo videos, but it's like 80% of it can be nonsense, but there's something going on. And I wonder, you know, the true purpose of Hollywood and TV and mass programming, all these people see these things and they think these things. Does that make them more likely to happen and come true? Did you know that after 9/11, my uncle told me this years ago, and he was like, this is the creepiest fucking thing I've ever seen. After 9/11, a shitload of lottery tickets were 911, 911, 911. From like legitimate lottery companies, random number generators just happened to be producing 911, 911, 911, and somebody said, could it be possible because 250 million Americans are thinking the term 9/11 so much, so often, and talking about it with each other so much, it's fucking showing up. It's like manipulating the source code somehow. And if that's true, what are these fucking big movies doing when they bring everybody in?
Programming, right? They're
getting what is it making
concepts
them think
into
about?
people's minds, right? And
it makes
normalizing.
It makes them think about things, and if those thoughts have an energetic projection that go out and actually affect the world that we're in, if you could make millions of people think certain things, now you're manipulating reality. So that becomes the people with the biggest microphone could be the most powerful people in the world because they can make people think certain things, and if they think if they think these thoughts, they can come true, or they could, like, that's crazy to me, but it seems as though there might be something to that. So why do the worst people in the world need to have a monopoly over who gets to talk, if that's not true?
100%. Yeah. What gets put into the minds of people, it can predict the future. What is biblical prophecies about? Why are there certain religions that, you know, they put forth their prophecies and then they do whatever they can to try to make them come true, right?
This is somebody, that's actually a huge compliment. Grant H said Art Bell discussed this in like 95. Art Bell is a legend. I loved that show because he was a great kind of like, he would talk about weird schizo conspiracy crazy stuff and like Bigfoot and UFO, but he would do it in a way of like, he wasn't a crazy person. You know what I mean? You could listen to him and respect yourself to explore these strange topics without, you know, going full madman.
Right.
He was great. Did he die recently? I think he did, didn't he? Coast to Coast AM or FM or something it was called.
I've heard of the name before, but I'm not familiar.
Oh, he's a legend.
I hate to interrupt this great conversation. It's very interesting. I just got to go to bed. So
I
leave you guys.
Yeah, I was going to take
you
off
later. Thanks for having me on, Dan.
No worries, man. Great to have you on. Cheers.
Great song, by the way.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Have a good night, guys.
Appreciate it. Cheers, brother.
Appreciate it. We really went deep on this last hour of the show.
We went into an existential. We started by making fun of boomers, and then a short time later, it's like if so.
The boomers brought us into an existential crisis because we're just like questioning our own humanity and what it means to be human. Watching like this clown show go down, and it's just like I want to make fun of them, I want to criticize them, but I also want to see the humanity in people and see where we can improve. Because the question is, what would you do? And I think that yes, we do need to find purpose in our lives. We do need to figure out how we can make things better amongst each other. And it does take, like you said, self-reflection, the ability to have humility. And, you know, also you have to know that 1 + 1 = 2. You have to have good like common sense. And I think logic is a huge thing. It's
There's a mixture of attributes that you need to be successful at certain things, at different things. You can't like, could I play in the NBA? Obviously not. Why not? Because I'm fucking 5'9". That's why. Like, very unlikely. You know what I mean? Could I be a linebacker in the NFL? No, I'm way too small to play that because you would die. You know what I mean? Why can't a woman fight Brock Lesnar? Like, there's just certain things that are just never going to be, right? That's just not who you are. Like, Brock Lesnar was never going to be a ballerina either. You know, it's just people are who they are sometimes, and you just have to accept it and figure out what that is. But that's part of I don't think a lot of people seem to understand. Maybe no one does, but these kinds of concepts about, like, if they really knew, and let's assume they do, because I'm basing a lot of how things are working is like kind of reverse engineering what the bad guys do. If they knew how, like, yeah, this is how you manipulate everybody and keep the system running and control everything and make them do crazy things, and because like everyone's going along with crazy stuff and no one seems to know why. It's like, man, it's like they're brainwashed. It's like they're learning some kind of spell. I'm like, I think they are. And, you know, do you think they would tell you how that works? Oh, what you need to do is, guys, is sign petitions, and you got to vote for your guy, and you got to, yeah, sure, that's how it works. I think what's really happening is that you have a monopoly on input into the brain. You've got all the TVs, all the radios, all the talking heads, all of that, and you just make sure they're saying the things you want to say. And then that literally builds the reality in these people's heads, and then that becomes reality. It doesn't matter who's running what, who's petitioning who's been. It matters who has the most compelling fucking, you know, will or something. It's like the people that have escaped these kinds of things before. It's like they did it on sheer willpower somehow. It was almost like nothing technical they did. It was like some kind of, you know, energy they had or ability to just kind of, I don't know.
Say no to it, like trust their own intuition. There's a whole bunch of like willpower, spirit, intelligence.
Yeah, like they know
all these things go into it, right?
I believe that there's things like that certain people in the world know how to do and are trained how to do, and it's just like anything else. It's like, imagine if only they knew how to play tennis. You know what I mean? We would all none of us have ever seen it before. We don't even know it exists. And then it's like, well, we'll beat them at tennis. Like, you're not beating anybody at tennis. You know, you'd have to be some kind of phenom or something. But you could try to, like, maybe, you know, glimpse over the bushes and try to see what it is and try to figure out how it's working so you can defeat it somehow. I think that's kind of, but part of that is trying to, like, guarding your own thought. And that's another thing that they say in the Bible and other religious cultures is, like, guard your thoughts, because your thoughts are not harmless. You know, you can have a thought and then go, like, you know, you can shut that shit down. You can explore things. You can let yourself wallow in despair and depression and think all these horrible things. And the kind of old school way, the old school knowledge was like, don't think bad things. You ever hear your grandparents say stuff like that?
Yeah.
Just
why
like,
are you thinking about that? Why are you looking at?
And that's like, they may not even know why. They just knew that you don't think about bad things because it was learned through generations of, it's like, there's something to this.
Maybe the boomers, they don't want to think bad things about where they're going, especially in a BoomerWaffen convoy like this. So that thing that's ingrained in them, they're like, don't think bad things about yourself. Just always trust the plan, trust yourself. And then they have no self-reflection when, like, I think there's a new crop of people in this world where we've been exposed to so much. We've seen all the information laid out in front of us on the internet. And you could get really lost in it. You could go find your specific niche or dopamine cycle that you're going to go through, or you could go through it all, go through all the depression, the anxiety, all the phases that you need to do. But if you have the willpower or like the intelligence or all these different things, like the good moral heart, you could come out on the other side and we could be way better than like these people who are doing all these magic spells at the top. They know how to control people, but they can't control somebody with a good spirit.
There's always,
and all
that's the
these
other
things.
thing about the universe that I've known,
Right.
like the world we're in, is that there's always a trade-off somewhere. If you're really good at something, there's always a trade. There's no absolute, total, like perfect anything. Like Sidney Crosby's an example, the hockey player. He's a fucking great hockey player, like one of the best ever that's ever lived. And, you know, lots of people would love to be able to play hockey as good as him and, you know, make all this money. And that's what he wanted to do and so on. I knew somebody who went to school with him and they said he never went to parties. He never had girlfriends. He only played hockey all the time. So he had to sacrifice something. So it's like, yes, he's very good at hockey, but when has he had time to be very good at anything else? You know what I mean? He's like a very well-refined, very specific tool now, but that's it. It's like you could do other things, but that's what you did with your time. So that's where you are. You spend all your time, you know, doing drugs. You'll get really good at doing drugs, and that's what you do. It's, what do you want to do with your time? And that's what they do. So it's like they have a way of running all of this, but that doesn't mean like there's a soft spot somewhere. There's a countermeasure to it. There's a way to do this.
Something's got to give, right?
Right. And what they want you to do is engage in methods that are definitely doomed to fail, considering their positions. They want people to try and go grab guns. And that's why they antagonize people into doing it.
Yeah.
That's something else historically they fucking love to do. They did it in all the war. They do it all the time. And they're brutally horrible about shit they'll do to antagonize people. And then when you react, then they get you. And they use all their tools to say, oh, look at the monster. Look what you did. They don't talk about any of the shit they did before you snap. They just talk about what you did. And then you're the bad guy, and then they can come destroy you. And it's like you succumb to the fucking, you failed the test. It's like you have to almost endure the punishment to see how, to make them really work for it. And that's like you can't fight this, but not right now, not in this stage. Like, oh, we're gonna go get some guys and get some guns. Like, what are you talking about, man? You're talking about the Galactic Empire, and it's like you and your buddies from the fucking the bar.
You can't flip the chessboard.
No,
you gotta
like
play
we're
the
in no
game.
position
You gotta
to do
play
that.
the game.
And but it's designed that way. It's not designed, and that's why they're fighting it. It's not designed to have something like, tons of people to have access to, many other people and counter the medicine that they're getting from the TV every day. If too much of that happens and it takes off, it's like judo. Now it's gonna work entirely against them. The thing that they created, because that's what the internet was created for, and Facebook. You ever hear this one? LifeLog, that conspiracy fact. No. LifeLog was a DARPA project, which is a secret spook military shit, and it was an experimental social media site which would people could upload their pictures on and their information, and they could be tracked and followed this way, and it could be a data harvesting operation, and they could do all these things. And so they did that, and then they shut it down, and then the following week Facebook starts up, or maybe even the next day. It might even have been the next fucking day. So DARPA shuts down the LifeLog project. Facebook pops up the next day. I can't remember where I was going with that. What were we just talking about? Why is that important?
I don't know. I guess the media, like the powers be, have control over, like, yeah, go ahead.
Well, these were intended to be like, oh, we'll use this to monitor people. We'll gather more information. We're going to make more money with all this data. And it started making lots of money. People are like, oh, they love the social media. Give them more, give them more, give them more. But there was unintended consequences. It got away from them, and their creation is now destroying them. And they're trying to figure out how to control it. And it might be too late.
People have free speech. Now they have access to information. Now they could talk, organize, network amongst each other, and it's like they've opened Pandora's box and they can't reshut it. Once you get red-pilled, you can't go back. So they're kind of screwed.
The mirage,
and the truth rises to the surface eventually. Yeah, that's the thing.
Like you could get away with this in the 20s and 30s and 40s. I mean, you just have, how many newspapers are there? Like 7? I own all of them. There, the end. Then what's your opposition? Is literally a guy on a street corner with a homemade sign. No one's ever going to listen to. It's be like really, really hard. Now it's like, fuck. When I saw Paul Watson talking in front of a map in his house and he's pulling numbers that are competing with CNN, I'm like, it's over. Inevitably, this is going to be over, because the only thing they can do is, what are you going to do? Just North Korea, the whole internet?
Right.
In America?
Yeah. Warren G in
How?
the chat is saying that's where they fucked up. They
Yeah.
let us have the internet. People
Yeah.
are stupid, but they ain't all the way stupid.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Let's use this free speech and this internet and all this access to information that, hey, I probably wouldn't have known all these things and gone on this trajectory if I was living 2 generations ago. I probably would have just lived a normal life, and I wouldn't have been the revolutionary or like the person with that kind of insight to see like 100 years into the future to understand where things were going. Hell no.
I'd probably be a captain in the military. Is what I'd be doing right now. Just watching hockey, worried about the playoffs. Baseball. Blue Jays are in the playoffs right now.
Well, we
All
have this
vaccinated
gift
up.
given to us, so let's fucking use it. Now I have
Well,
2
that's-
more super chats left. The Rabbit saying new roads will sustain the empire. And, yeah,
Stone roads with aqueducts and archways.
Yes, exactly. Nathan Smith has got the lowdown on that. He's an aqueduct respecter, I believe.
Enthusiast. Appreciate it.
Enthusiast. Okay. Cunning Druger says, "I'm glad there are other people that get this as well." Well, it's great to see you here, man. So yeah, I think we're all caught up. But yeah, let's end this on a positive note. How do we send them off white-pilled? That's difficult these days, but
I've been getting better at it, and I think that's part of why. I used to be a lot more negative than I really am, because I've kind of forced myself to like believing this. I'm like, okay, it matters what you believe. If you like I say these things, right? Like if you believe you're not going to win, you definitely aren't. You're definitely going to die. If you can convince yourself that you not only that you can win, but you probably will, or you're definitely going to, now that mental energy starts to not contribute to the problem. It starts to pull away. And if you can grab more people and join you, then this starts to become something. So that, in my regiment, they had a thing, it was called never pass a fault. That's like kind of the motto, pro patriotism motto, but that's one of the other, never pass a fault. And it's like, oh yeah, sergeant majors and stuff would be like, empty that trash can, you walked right past the trash can. And the point, the mentality of it is you noticed it. The reason that problem exists is because no one else noticed it. It's your responsibility. It came to you. It came in your path. It's in your life. You're the one that noticed. So you notice these things, or you observe these things, or you learn something, and you're not going to tell anybody. You're not going to help anybody. You're just going to carry on like you didn't fucking see it happen right in front of you. You didn't see any of that shit. Like that's, you've almost been given an opportunity. Lots of people don't see these things, and someone else has to tell them. It's like that's kind of the duty or the honor you've been given is like you got to see it first. Go warn the others. It's your job. It's your duty. That's why, if you want to go there, it's like that's why God put you there, to see that and experience that and see that and feel those feelings and feel all fucked up, because you're the vanguard. You have to, it's up to you now to not, like you said with the boomers, be like, oh, everything's just going to be, get them out and believe in yourself. You have to have a realistic you need to look at it with sober eyes and see what you're really up against. It's not like, oh, damn, it's the libs. Like you picture, oh, it's the libs. Is that what you think? Is that what you think? I'm picturing like a 17-foot tall monster that lives on the top of a fortress in the hills in Transylvania that literally eats screaming people alive. And he has an army of killers and endless fortunes of money and can destroy nations at will. And like, that's what you're up against. You understand? This isn't some couple of guys. Like, they whack presidents if they want. So that's the challenge. And if you can still look at that and go, but we're still going to win anyway. Crazier things have happened. Every empire that's ever existed has collapsed sooner or later. And this one is following all the keynotes and all the key phrases, and all the king's horses and men couldn't put Humpty Dumpty back together again. It's all of the pieces are in play. So, I mean, just because you're on top today doesn't mean you're going to stay there. What goes up must come down,
We're living in unprecedented times too. Like,
yeah,
it seems like we're on a downward trajectory if you see how like the fall of civilizations happen. But there's never been this amount of technology, awareness, all these things like these gifts that we've been given of noticing these things and like being the vanguards and being able to tell everybody else, right? This was not there in the past. So we're here now and we're going to do it. And, we have to ride that kind of conviction, that knowing that we're doing, like you were saying before, belief is probably like the first step to making everything happen.
Yes.
And not only is that just like what you need to do, you have to believe in yourself and have confidence, but you're even saying before that belief probably has a scientific effect on the world around you, insofar as that belief, like, it inducts things to happen into the world. And I think that is one of the keys that these elites, these Illuminati type people, that they have. This is why they use all this occultic ritual magic, and they use it to do evil things in order to like get rid of all the guilt that they have and to put these like evil thoughts and create fear in people. We should do the opposite and put good in people, make them have faith in themselves and in God, and pushing forward. That's the kind of strength we need.
Yeah, I think the difference is in like the gods that you follow, like the good one or the bad one. You know, which side of the lane are you driving on? Like, on the one side, you know, very powerful and has all this ability and can do all these things, but at the end of the day, it's only the good ones that will go all the way. It's like, if I have to die for this to protect my children, I will. No one's going to do that for money. No one's going to do that for a fucking new job or fucking any of it, right?
For all the materialistic, other real stuff, they're not going to do it.
If it goes maximum willpower, one side against the other, like, well, one just has more than the other, because there's going to be a point where they're just going to tap out because it's not worth it anymore. And there's not, that point doesn't exist for the other side, because it's like, it's this or I don't exist anymore. I don't have a choice, right?
Well, there you have it. I think the good will always come to the surface. The truth, not always, but like the truth.
That's why it's more powerful. They say that, you know, good is more powerful. That's why it's more powerful. Yeah. The reason it's more powerful is that if you believe in what you're doing that strongly, you can literally pretty much do anything. And if it's for a good cause and it's the right thing to do, then people will do that. They won't do that for something they believe is bullshit or have a they don't deeply believe in their bones is the right, like, this has to happen. They're going to fight the hardest, and that's going to be the people that win. The people that fight the hardest and have the most will to win always win. Always, sooner or later. Look at Vietnam. Look at Afghanistan. You know, could you imagine in 2002, the fucking America's coming to invade, and you're like, in 20 years, you're going to be waving goodbye to them as they surrender and fly away. Probably a lot of dark, and it's like, not that that's a good thing or whatever. I'm just saying crazier things have happened. You know, dedicated, small, focused, dedicated, relentless people that are willing to go, you know, willing to put up with a lot to fucking achieve their you know, what they believe in can get things done, obviously.
Well, I think that's a perfect place to leave it off on. This has been a hell of a stream. We covered a lot. Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, man. No problem. I'll let you go. I really got to take a leak now. This was all
same.
branched chain amino acids, and I'm just like, now I'm.
I think I'm on my 6th or 7th bubbly at this point. But thank you guys so much for coming out tonight. It was great. Thanks, Phil, for coming on. I'm going to play you guys out with this punk cover of Richmond, North of Richmond.
Phil.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone who donated tonight. I appreciate the support of the show. And guys, have a great night. And I'll see you again next week. All right. Cheers, everyone. Slap. Let's go.
Selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours for bullshit pay, so I can sit out here and waste my life away, drag back home and drown my troubles away. It's a damn shame what the world's gotten to for people like me and people like you. Wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. Oh, it is, living in the new world with an old soul. These rich men north of Richmond, Lord knows they all just wanna have total control. Wanna know what you think, wanna know what you do, and they don't think you know, but I know that you do, 'cause your dollar ain't shit, and it's taxed to no end, 'cause the rich man, north of Richmond. for minors, not just minors on an island somewhere. Lord, we got folks in the street, ain't got nothing to eat, and the obese milking welfare. Well, God, if you're 5'3" and you're 300 pounds, taxes ought not to pay for your bags fudge rounds. Young men putting themselves 6 feet in the ground, cause all this damn country does is keep on kicking them down. It's a damn shame what the world's gotten to for people like me and people like you. Wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. Oh, it is living in the new world with an old soul. These rich men north of Richmond, Lord knows they all just wanna have total control. Wanna know what you think, wanna know what you do, and they don't think you know, but I know that you do, cause your dollar ain't shit, and it's taxed to no end, cause the rich men, north of Richmond. All day, overtime